Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Hi.
I don't even know why I'm calling right now.
I'm sorry. My thoughts are going a mile a minute.
No matter how you served.
I left the service last year. My mom just passed away a few months ago. I missed so much time with her.
No matter what you're going through.
Before, I knew what to expect every day. And now I have so many decisions to make. I keep getting calls about the bills, and I'm trying to get a job, but I feel so stuck.
We are here for you.
Okay, ma'am. I'm glad you called. Let's stay on the line and walk through some things.
If you or a veteran in your life is experiencing thoughts of suicide, dial 988. Then press 1 to reach the Veterans Crisis Line.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The Family Media Plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-771-1300. That's 800-771-1300.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is a hot and muggy afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-90s, feeling more like upper 90s with the heat index. 67 overnight tonight under clear skies, and it's hot and sunny tomorrow with a high of 93. We start a transition on Thursday with a cold front coming in that will bring us a wetter pattern for the holiday weekend.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 171 points to 49,354.
Nice play here by Hall. Stankoven with a chance. He scores! Logan Stankoven out in front for Stankoven. He scores! Another one! He kept on here. Going across the score! Oh, red hot Logan Stankoven. Miller shot off the sideboard. He scores! Logan Stankoven! 4 games, 4 goals, and on the power play, the Canes have taken a 2-1 lead here in Ottawa.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. We finally know when the Carolina Hurricanes are going to play. Hopefully, you got whatever you needed to get done over the weekend when there was obviously no Canes game, because you still got to wait till Thursday. You can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan, but the game will be Thursday at 8. And we will continue to just dribble like Hansel and Gretel, leaving you crumbs of information, because we still don't know who they're playing. That has to be decided tonight. So you can catch it tomorrow when we talk about the actual matchup on the show. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. We do have tickets to a round 2 game or a Eastern Conference Finals game. I've been warming up to say Eastern Conference Finals for a week and a half, and I'm still not there yet. We have tickets that we will be giving away, but to up your chances, you have to be tuned in to the entirety of today's show. Each hour, we will give away a keyword, which you will have to text in by the top of the hour. If you do that, you will gain this hour's entry. I will let you know what that keyword is at some point in the next, roughly 20 minutes, half hour, and give you the rest of the hour to text in. With that being said, now that you know what your stakes are, what you have going on, let's start the show in the same way we always do, and that's with the Big Three at 3.
Number 1.
Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Whatever's going on in your house, if you need it looked at, if you need it fixed, you can always trust Maynard Service Company. Number 1 is the Canes are playing Thursday. Like I said, we are trickling information out, meaning the NHL and just the results are. Last we had talked on Friday, we knew it was either going to be a Tuesday or a Thursday game, depending on if the Montreal-Buffalo series went the full 7 games or not. It turns out that absolutely that thing's going to go 7 games. We should have known. It's going 7 games, and that means the Canes will host the winner of tonight's Game 7 between Buffalo and Montreal on Thursday, 8 o'clock. That's what we know, okay? The opponent will still have to wait. Either way, right, whether it's Buffalo or Montreal, we've seen teams go through it. The Canes have been through it in years past. A Game 7 is exhausting. That series is exhausting. They both played long series in the first round, exhausting. I think that's at least enough to even out maybe the rest versus rust concerns, to go, all right, maybe you're really worried about the Canes being rusty. Well, they should be equally as concerned that their teams are exhausted. So let's all just pretend like that evens out and go play a fair, even, no excuses series. But we'll have to wait and see how tonight goes, right? If it goes the 7 overtimes, then I reserve the right to change everything. It is Thursday. It is a long break, but it is Thursday. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And I think for the Canes, having that firm date to build towards makes everything a little bit more real, right? It's back kind of in a game week sense rather than this just in the limbo, in purgatory between series where you're just waiting and you don't even know when you have to be ready. Now that they know it's Thursday, I think everything kind of locks in and they focus in and get ready. That is number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
In a bit of surprise news on Friday after the show, there were rumblings, and then it was confirmed. Joe Person, the first that I saw confirm it as far as like individuals that we would know. The Panthers and one of their highest priced defensive players, Tershawn Wharton, aka Turk Wharton, he had neck surgery. And that surgery comes with kind of he's expected to play this year, but it's an indefinite absence because they don't know what the timetable is. That is not great for a defense that definitely builds from the front back, right? They like building with that defensive front all the way down to the guys whose hands are in the dirt. And he's making roughly $15 million a year. So there is a big gap if he is unable to go. Dave Canales, the head coach of the Carolina Panthers, spoke to the media earlier today, and he did give the latest on Turk Wharton and his neck injury. So with that, here's Dave Canales.
I'm going to keep it pretty vague. Just those are kind of private conversations that we have. But basically, it was about a week and a half ago, just was feeling a little bit of discomfort. And went in and talked to Denny, and Denny was like, well, this is something we should take a look at. And, they found some things that needed to be addressed, from a surgical standpoint. And so it was like, obviously with the timetable of the season and all those things, like this is something that needs to be done now. And he's recovering great, and we'll just take it week by week and see where he's at.
Keeping it vague, off season. Neck injuries, let's just call a spade. They're mysterious, they're confusing, they can drag on. You don't want to mess around with the neck, You don't want to mess around with the spine. You don't want to, like, there are certain body parts, right? Like, hey, you can cut a finger off. Everyone's going to be like, ooh, big tough guy. But if your neck is sore, you get it looked at, and if there's something that needs to happen, it needs to happen. There is perhaps a silver lining for the Carolina Panthers that they did use one of their first couple of draft picks on an interior defensive lineman in Lee Hunter out of Texas Tech. Canales, during that same media availability, was asked how important that pick is now, especially with Wharton's injury.
Well, it's very important now, just depending on what the timeline looks like. And I don't have specific dates right now with all that. But, to get big young bodies into the program is always a good thing, with, Monroe and then with Lee, right off the bat with the first two picks, quality players who we expect to be in the mix to compete, to help our team. And it was just, philosophically speaking, it's like best available. Absolutely. And then when these, big physical, violent players come along, it's we were really excited to be able to add those guys and now in a different way, Lee, Cam Jackson, these guys that we've brought into our program are going to really need to, step up for the guys in different roles.
So here's the way I look at it. And by the way, Turk Wharton was hurt for roughly 50% of the year last year. So he signed essentially a 3-year, $45 million deal, but there is an out after this upcoming year that would save a ton of cap space. If you miss on a swing that big, and $15 million a year is a big swing, that is a player that you need to contribute for whatever reason, right? I'm not saying there's like a fault here unless somebody in the medical staff missed something on a physical, but we'd have no idea about that. If you miss on a player of that caliber when it comes to contract, it just means, and this is much more easily said than done, you have to hit on some of your lower resource guys. You have to hit on some draft picks. You have to hit on some budget free agents. So, yeah, if Cam Jackson and Lee Hunter are ready to step up and play a bunch more effective football than maybe you expected, this won't hurt you. If Pat Jones comes back and can bump inside more often and play a bigger body game, and that'll open it up on the outside for some other guys, Nick Scorton and such, this won't hurt you. But if you're not getting abnormal value from some lower money guys, then you're going to point to this one and say, well, that's why the defensive front wasn't what it could have been. It's a bummer. Don't get me wrong. Injuries are the worst. Don't get me wrong. You're definitely not planning or budgeting for it, but it is what it is. And that's the worst analysis in the world. It is what it is, but it's the facts of life. It's what sports are. Next man up. We'll see how it plays out. They definitely still have a very talented defensive front when you look at the guys, the money invested and everything, Derek Brown, Jalen Phillips, and everybody else. They're going to be set for talent. The depth probably took a bigger hit with Wharton being out indefinitely, but we'll see if and when he comes back. That is number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
PGA Championship concluded over the weekend. It was I would say, truly anyone's game until Sunday when Aaron Rai ran away with it. Aaron Rai, no real connection to the area. He's a British golfer. Seems like a lot of people learned about him over the weekend. It's really his first high-profile win. A guy that has some quirks, but a cool story. Is kind of grinded from the start here, and he got his big win. Around here, you're going to hear a lot of Alex Smalley. Alex Smalley, Wake Forest High School, Duke for his college golf. Finished in a tie for second, and before you go, oh, darn, second, so close, $1.8 million. $1.8 million for Alex Smalley. And a top 2, and he finished tied with John Rahm in second, 3 strokes off. A top 2 in a major gives you a bunch of tour status and everything that players are desperate for. So Alex Smalley had a very, very good weekend. And the best thing you can say about the PGA, a lot of people were complaining about the setup, right? Maybe the putting was too difficult. Maybe the pin placements were too difficult. I think the best thing you can say about it is you had a ton of guys within striking distance on the weekend. So no matter what your cup of tea is as far as who you root for, Americans, whether it's young guys, whether it's unknown, whether it's the favorites, whether it's the PGA guys versus the live guys, like there was somebody for everybody that was within striking distance, and Aaron Rai outlasted them all. Max Graceman, by the way, another Duke golfer, he finished tied for 14th, so that's big money, good money for him. Ben Griffin, a former UNC golfer, finished tied for 14th. Big money, good money for him. And again, all of these come with certain, FedEx Cup points and official World Golf Rankings points that help you get into future tournaments where you can solidify yourself even further. Alex Smalley jumped 20 spots in FedEx Cup up to 15th. That's big time. Graceman jumped 31 spots up to 85th, so he's starting to knock on the door for things like the end-of-season tournaments and everything, which is massive for a young golfer. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is a little PGA Championship recap to round out the Big 3 at 3 presented by Maynard Service Company. When we come back, the Carolina Hurricanes finally know the time, the place, the day of the week they're going to be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. How did they spend their break? How will they spend the rest of it? And what do they have to do to be ready for either Montreal or Buffalo? I don't know why I said it that way. Buffalo. Stick around. It's coming up next.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Groovin'. By the way, about an hour from now, 4:15, we will open up the phone lines, Monday Sound Off. If you want to make any predictions, you want them on wax, you want them on record for the Eastern Conference Finals. If you have something to say about the Carolina Panthers and what's going on with them, the Tershawn Wharton injury, Bryce Young being reported this weekend, they will not sign him to a contract extension this offseason. They'll wait until at least after the upcoming season, according to reports. Or anything else you have going on. College basketball rosters being put together. There's a lot going on, and we want to hear from you. So at 4:15, as part of our Monday Sound Off that we do every week, we will open up the phone lines for you, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. In the meantime, Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, how many months has it been since they played a hockey game?
6.
I'm only half joking. Like, it feels like a month. That's what it feels like. And part of it is because it's all relative. Right? During a hockey season, you just get used to, like, if they play on a Monday and not again till Thursday, you're like, whoa, what a break. right? And there's back-to-backs. There's game off day, game off day, game off day for stretches, and you just get used to that. So this kind of deal seems longer than it is. But they're going to play on Thursday. It's going to be at home. It's going to be Montreal or Buffalo. It is, by the way, the modern NHL record for longest break between series. You can go back to like 1919, I think it was, for a longer break. But as far as how we see and view the NHL, this is the longest break between series that any team has experienced. So it's maybe taking a step back from what I've been preaching about their experience, right? Because you say things like Rod Brindamore has seen everything. You say things like, over the last 8 seasons where they go to the playoffs this often, they've had long breaks, they've had short breaks, and the guys that have been around for all of them, the Stahls, the Ahos, etc., they know how to deal with it. Well, guess what? They are dealing with something that no team in modern NHL has ever dealt with. So there is no right or wrong answer to what you do with it, right? There's right or wrong end results. If they come out, game 1 on Thursday and score 2 goals in the first period and only give up 4 shots and Freddie stops them all, then it's like, all right, whatever they did was right? But that's judging by product. That's judging not by process. So it's really hard to know what they should be doing other than talking in big generalities, right? Saying things like they need to stay focused. They need to refresh. They need to reset. They need to, make sure that their competitive juices stay flowing and that they're honed. And it's like, okay, but what do you do? I really liked Walt Ruff, Canes team reporter, tweeted out over the weekend that they were doing quite a bit of mini ice games, like 2-on-2 and other kind of scrimmage simulation games that you would play in a practice just to keep those, tools warmed up. I really like that. And I think it's worthy of using you don't become a professional athlete without being maybe even a little annoyingly competitive. So you don't even really have to put anything on the line, right? If you just say, this drill is going to have a winner and a loser, and if you want to say, this group's going to have to skate lines or whatever, if you lose, it'll be ferociously competitive, and that's the kind of stuff that I think you need to make sure you're doing. I'm all for rest. I'm all for mental resets. I'm all for all of it. But, competition is a muscle as well. So as they hit the gym to make sure that their literal muscles are staying strong during the break, and they hit the practice ice to make sure their cardio stays where it needs to be. And as they do all of that, I think it's good that they are firing the competition muscle as well, flexing that a little bit and making sure that's not atrophying at all during the break. And then Rod Brindamore points out, and we have some audio here for you, that things will start to lock in for them even more starting when they find out who their opponent is. Here's Rod Brindamore.
Obviously tonight when you know the opponent's going to, I think that just gets more real, that it's right around the corner. I think, when you have this long a break, you don't really want to be dialed in the whole time. You got to, manage that emotional roller coaster, and you certainly know you're about to get back into it. And so hopefully being fresh away is going to help in that regard. But, yeah, I think once you know your opponent for sure, I think you get a little more, laser focused.
That's fair. It becomes more real once you know. Once you're even in your mental reps, what jersey the other team is wearing, it can become more real. Tonight, Buffalo, Montreal, winner advances to take on the Carolina Hurricanes. This series has been, as Dennis you called it earlier, and it just continued over the weekend. It's kind of drunk.
It's drunk. It really is.
It is intoxicated.
It's on Labatt's and Molson's, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want. Montreal has given up 11 goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah.
The Sabres have given up 9 goals in their last 2 games.
Yeah.
Just for reference,
goaltending optional.
Through 2 series, the Canes have given up 10.
Yeah.
So two games versus 2 series, the numbers are right there, right? About the exact same. That for each team. That's crazy. But it's also playoff hockey, right? Chaos ensues. Goaltending optional. Buffalo is like, swapping them out left and right. Montreal, everybody told me you want to play Buffalo because you don't want to deal with Montreal's goaltending. Turns out not impenetrable, right? Turns out not a brick wall that you can't find a way to score on.
I think Jacob Dobish, the Montreal netminder, is just gassed.
Exhausted.
I think he's just gassed.
Which would make sense because they've played not only long series, but like back and forth every game aggressive series for now a long time.
Against Tampa Bay, all 7 of those games against Tampa were 1-goal games, including some games that went to overtime. Then now you have this series that's going on. It's just it's mentally and physically taxing.
And especially for a goaltender who's right there in some of the most high-profile, mentally exhausting situations. So, again, what was it? Like after it went 5, right, and they knew we were going to 6, I was like, go 7, exhaust everybody. And I think you're seeing some of the results of that. And, just imagine if they go, whoever it is, Buffalo or Montreal, play the Canes, and that one goes 6. Right? That's just a ton of the most high-pressure, exhausting hockey that you can play, and it can't help but be an advantage for the Canes. Right? I almost look at it this way, and this is just in theory, so no jinxes or anything like that if you're superstitious. I think Game 1, the Canes' big break could be a real detriment that they have to fight through. Right? Like feel like they're skating in mud a little bit. But beyond that, right, because you assume that it's, like riding a bike. They'll get there quickly. Beyond that, you're just a way more rested team up against a squad that had to go through a slobber knocker in the second round and had to exert themselves, no matter who it is, in the first round as well. Jordan Stahl said it's really about, there's a quote from earlier, turning that anxiety meter off a bit, that stress meter. Not thinking about the game, turning your mind off is going to be the biggest thing. I like the idea of that as well. The stress, right? The idea of the anxiety being something that you don't necessarily need because, as I said, competition is a muscle. I think you need to work it. Obviously, your skating, your cardio, your strength, that's all muscles. You need to work those to stay in rhythm. Anxiety or pressure or anything like that, I think that you can just turn off and experience it when you need to. And that's a refresh that is worth its weight in gold at this point in the postseason.
That's what Rod's talked about, that the lack of stress at this time for players because you're not game planning for anything specific. You don't know who you're playing. Like, just focus on yourself, do your work, then go home.
It's almost you're exactly right that you don't even know who you're playing. It's almost like even if you wanted super extra work, there's really not, right?
Yeah.
Like there's
it's just you.
Yeah, it's do your maintenance, right? Get with the trainer, make sure you're nursing whatever you got to nurse. Get with the strength and conditioning staff, do that, and then once you're done, it's like I got nothing for you. That's a luxury at this time of year. But again, they will play Thursday. It will be at the Lenovo Center. Barring bad weather, we will be outside the Lenovo Center getting you ready for it, enjoying the tailgating scene. Although I guess there is some weather that's threatening that.
Yeah. We'll take the rain. That's fine.
We'll wait and see. But it is, and you can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan, the everything we do leading up to and including the game. It's just, I am officially like a racehorse in the gates right now, going like, just open the door. Let's go. We've been waiting long enough. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Mainer's Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. You know what? Long breaks, something like a long vacation maybe for us, meaning not them. I know they're going into the office every day. But when you go on a long vacation, you come home, what would be the ultimate oh no? You left the air conditioning on so you'd have a cool house to walk back into. You walk in and it's muggy and hot and you recognize your air conditioner's not working. What about walking in and you take a step into the bathroom and you feel a squish because it's a little damp under your feet? Not good. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. You want those things running at their highest efficiency possible in your house, and you want to trust them in a way that you go on a long vacation or business trip or whatever. You come home, it's all going to be running just as good as you left it. Maynard Service Company wants to be a part of that team that guarantees that happens. So give them a call, 919-361-0993. I emphasize the emergencies, right? Something breaks, you need them over there right now, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I also emphasize the maintenance to make sure that it is running as efficiently as possible. Give them a call either way, 919-361-0993, or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR services.com. Coming up next, we hit the Dean's List. Find out who made it next.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
When it comes to your roof, it's all about quality above with peace of mind below. Hi, this is Holly with Roofworks. We're proud to be in our 20th year helping families and businesses keep the roof over their heads as economically as possible. We work on every type of roof, gutters, and skylights with quality repairs, maintenance, and replacements for your home, your business, and multifamily. We offer warranties with every new roof and financing options for homeowners, and we're now serving Southern Pines as well. Visit us to learn more at roofwerks.com.
If you've ever reached for a cheers when your favorite song comes on, you're ready to embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. Hazy, citrusy, smooth, juicy but not sweet, hoppy but not bitter, America's best-selling hazy IPA for good reason. Hazy Little Thing, enjoy responsibly. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I promised at the beginning of the show that we would be giving out keywords that could potentially win you Canes playoff tickets. So let's do it. Right now, it's time for our 3 o'clock keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is cup. C-U-P. Cup. That is the keyword. If you text that right now, just the keyword, you don't have to text in anything else. Just the keyword cup to 919-860-5326. You'll be entered for a chance to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Raleigh. By the way, text. Emphasis on text. I don't know what you're trying to do when you call in, but it's not an email, it's not a tweet, it's a text. Text it to 919-860-5326. The keyword is cup. I was really pleased. We actually got to meet and hang out for a few minutes with the winner from the last round. It was a David. Right? There was a point in time where like everyone that won on our station was David. They were all different Davids, but I believe he was in the David run.
May have been.
But it was a it's always fun to see. He was really excited, brought a friend. I hope to have the same with some of you, where we can chat, We can feel your excitement. But for you to win, you have to listen into this show, the Adam Gold Show, noon to 3, and also next up with Paul Ihander, 9 a.m., each of the next 3 days. So that's today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Each hour of those 3 local shows will have a keyword. And if you text that in before the end of the hour, so you got to text this one in before 4 o'clock, every hour, you will have as many chances as you possibly can. You will up your chances of winning Eastern Conference Finals tickets. And oh, by the way, not the easiest ticket to go find, and not the cheapest ticket if you were going to go try to buy one for yourself. Rightfully so, right? There's only 4 teams left, high stakes, and it's going to be a great atmosphere. But if you want to be a part of it, we want to send you. You got to do your part and text in the keywords. So keyword cup, text it to 919-860-5326. Good luck to you all. May the odds be ever in your favor. Now, while you do that, we're going to fire up the Dean's List here on The Drive. Dean's List, where we highlight those directly or indirectly related to the college sports world that we hold so near and dear here in the Triangle. We have a lot of postseason kind of updates here. Let's throw Duke men's lacrosse.
Yes.
Going to the Final Four, where they'll take on number 1 Princeton.
That they are.
Smoked Georgetown.
Yes, they did.
16-6 to make it to the Final Four. That's got to feel good. Duke men's lacrosse. How about it?
It's funny. There's a lot of people out there that said they shouldn't even made the tournament.
I don't pretend. You would know 1,000 times more than me about lacrosse. I don't pretend, but I did notice that there's no little number next to their name when you're talking rankings and everything, yet they're going to the Final Four.
They were unseeded in the tournament. The only ACC team to not be seeded in the NCAA tournament.
And I believe they're the only one remaining, right? There's nobody on the other side of the bracket from the
Syracuse.
Syracuse, you're right.
Yep.
For some reason, Syracuse lacrosse still plays in the Big East to me.
Yes.
Football, basketball, that's all made the move, but lacrosse is still in the Big East, just in my initial reaction brain. Duke softball. They hosted a regional. They also advanced out of that regional. It was not necessarily the easiest thing in the world. They beat Howard in their first game. They lost to Arizona in their next game. Then had to double back and beat Arizona twice on Sunday to advance. But they did eventually eliminate Arizona, advanced on Sunday. They're now going to the Super Regionals, where they will take on number 5 Arkansas. Duke is number 12. So they're still playing there. How about little UNC baseball on the Dean's List? Number 2 seed in the ACC tournament, which starts tomorrow. They have a bye till Thursday. So Tuesday, Wednesday, other teams are going to be burning through their bullpens. They'll be out there playing, and Carolina, Georgia Tech, they're all going to be sitting back and watching. Tomorrow, there's a bit of that little crosstown rivalry going on. 9th-seeded State, NC State, will be taking on 16th-seeded Duke tomorrow at 9 a.m. Wake up, crush some breakfast, play some baseball. That's. I don't think I played a game earlier than noon after I turned 13. That's pretty impressive by the ACC to pack in those 4 games all one day. Got to start them early. But NC State and Duke will be out there in the 9 a.m. game. I guess there's no time too early for sunflower seeds and bubblegum or something?
No, I don't think so. Never too early for a hot dog.
Is that true?
It's in my world, yes.
All right. If there's a baseball game on, that's a exception for me. There's a time too early on a random day for a hot dog, but if there's a baseball game on anywhere in the world, as long as it's on the TV, you can crush a hot dog.
Breakfast hot dog. Let's go.
Do you have some Dean's Listers you'd like to throw in here, Dennis?
I actually have quite a few. You mentioned ACC baseball. Mm-hmm. Well, they actually announced their season-end awards.
Oh, all right. Give them to us. At least the ones we care about.
Caden Glauber from North Carolina, starting pitcher. Not only was first team All-ACC, but it was also ACC Freshman of the Year from North Carolina. Also from North Carolina, their starting pitcher Jason DeCaro, Caden Glauber, who's a relief pitcher, also making first team. Outfielder Owen Hull, first team. Jake Schaffner, their shortstop, also first team as well. And Chris Lavonis, starting pitcher from Wake Forest, also first team as well. There's actually a host of guys from around the area making second and third team. For example, Rhett Johnson, the outfielder from NC State, as well as Luke Nixon, their second baseman, both made second team All ACC, as well as Ryan Lynch, starting pitcher for North Carolina. Gavin Gallagher, their second baseman at North Carolina. Macon Winslow, their catcher for North Carolina, all made third team as well. Sherman Johnson, third baseman from NC State, made third team as well. And a few guys from Wake Forest made second and third team as well. Won't dive too much into it. But the all-freshman team includes Caden Glauber, again, freshman of the year in the conference, that makes sense. And Rhett Johnson, the outfielder that I just mentioned a moment ago for NC State, also made all-freshman team ACC.
Congrats.
Also, one more to throw on the Dean's List.
Let's hear it.
Lewisburg Community College. That's right, just right through it. Lewisburg Community College, their softball team won their regional. They're in the National Junior College Athletic Association, the NJCAA, Division II Softball World Series. They're in that starting tomorrow. They get the first game. So they're in the Women's College World Series.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the award winners. Good luck to, that's Lewisburg, you said?
That's right.
There you go.
Lewisburg Community College.
Good luck to Lewisburg. A few more here before we round it out. I do think we had to put Alex Smalley on there, finishing tied second in the PGA, former Duke golfer, former Wake Forest high school golfer. Maybe the craziest part about it, he had a 20-footer on 18. 20-foot putt is not by any means an assumed make. Matter of fact, it's probably almost a lag putt. Just get it up there close for the tap-in. But he made it for birdie on 18, not to win, but to move from a tie for third to a tie for second. And Alex Smalley's birdie, so that 20-foot putt making it, added $822,600 more to his prize winnings. And because he was the leader after the third round, he was the last on final grouping. So I don't know if he knew it was exactly $800,000, but he knew where everybody stood, and he knew it was at least a $500,000 putt. I don't know if I would be able to stop my hands from shaking long enough to take a $500,000 putt, let alone drill a 20-footer for $822,600 extra dollars on what was already a great weekend for him. And then finally, and I do this. This is a chapter, a category of Dean's List that I try to do, but they don't always come across my my purview. Deion Thompson, former UNC basketball player, who had a really good career with Carolina. I believe still is tied for most games played in a 4-season career. Now, obviously, that's been broken by people that had 9 years due to COVID. But I believe in a 4-year career, he still holds the record for at least tied for most games played. Didn't make it in the NBA, I don't believe, but he announced his retirement after 16 years, 22 teams, and 14 countries. He announced his retirement, and he's looking forward to, obviously, everything going on next and what the game can bring him and on and on and on. But it's a grind overseas. You can make some real money overseas playing basketball. And, 14 countries? That's some life experience that you're not going to get in any other or almost any other walk of life. Played a lot of basketball for the Carolina Tar Heels. That right there is enough to get most people excited. Add in that it at least funded his life for 16 years of pretty cool traveling across 22 teams. The NBA is tough. Not many people make it. The rosters aren't gigantic. There's not a lot of opportunity there. But basketball can still be a really cool part of these guys' lives. And Deion Thompson, congratulations on a congratulations-worthy career in a lot of different ways. So there you go. That's the Dean's List. And we will be tracking the postseason. So as the ACC baseball gets started tomorrow, as softball moves through super regionals, women's lacrosse is going to be starting up later this week again. Another long break there. There's a lot of local teams that are still in the mix, tennises and everything going on. So pay attention to it all, and we'll do our best to add it all to the Dean's List. When we come back, who's been winning and losing the last week? Not just on the scoreboard, but in vibes and aura. We have winners and losers next.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With a Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Accidents happen, and they can happen at any age. That's why Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry provides complete everyday dental care for your entire family, from the littlest athlete to adults ready for a healthier, more confident smile.
Oh, nice.
Dr. James Ferguson and his team are here for everything from routine care and cleanings to advanced treatments, so everyone can enjoy a strong, healthy smile. Schedule your visit today at chapelhilldds.com.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have winners and losers coming up, but there are a few things I want to make sure you're aware of. First of all, if you want to win Canes playoff tickets, Eastern Conference Finals, we have a pair of tickets going to one of you, one of the listeners out there, but you have to do your part. And the part that I'm talking about is you have to text in the keyword every hour. Okay, there's a keyword from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's during Next Up with Paul Ihander. And then there is a keyword during each hour from noon to 6. And that goes for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday. If you text in the keyword for every one of those hours, you will have your highest possible chance of winning the tickets. For every hour you don't find in, somebody else is gaining a better chance than you are. Maybe a whole bunch of people. That's me, like fire and brimstone, trying to scare you into texting in the keyword. But I just want what's best for you. I want you to have a chance at the tickets. I can't win them, so why not you? The keyword for today is, or for this hour, I should say, is cup. So you have less than 15 minutes to text cup to 919-860-5326. Less than 15 minutes. You have to get it in by 4 o'clock. So text cup, spelled C-U-P, to 919-860-5326. 5326. Don't have to text in any other words, nothing else. That's it. And you could win a pair of tickets to see the Canes in the Eastern Conference Finals. Also, I want to remind you that in a half hour from now, we're going to open up the phone lines for you to call in for a Monday sound off. So if you have Canes takes, Kane's thoughts, Kane's ideas, Montreal, Buffalo, whatever, or anything else going on in sports. College basketball, college football, NBA, whatever. We want to hear him. So that's going to be at 4:15. It's something we call Monday Sound Off. We do it every week about this time. Right now. Something else we do every week about this time. It's called Winners and Losers.
This team will never lose again.
We're talking more vibes than we are scoreboard. Anyone can look at the scoreboard. Only we can debate and decide who the winners are in aura and vibes. If you have some winners and losers, go ahead and send them to our YouTube live stream comments, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Right there in the comment section, the live chat, you can let us know who you think is winning and losing. I'll start. Winner. Former Duke basketball player Jared McCain.
Okay.
He was traded midseason to the Thunder, from the Sixers to the Thunder. I mean, as a Sixers fan, yeah, I can't blame you if you're a little.
That's a glow up.
If you're a little juiced about that, can't really knock you for it. But Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won MVP over the weekend. That's Jared McCain's teammate. Back-to-back MVPs. Shai went out and bought each of his teammates an Audemars Piguet watch, which is, let's just say, expensive. I would not be surprised if the total for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander came out in the 7 figures to hook up his team with the watches. So Jared McCain went from, hey, hopefully we can put something together and stay healthy enough with all these injury-prone stars to, yeah, let's be an absolute wagon going through the postseason. And just for helping me out, I'll buy you, I don't know, like an 80, 100,000, something like that, $1,000 watch. Jared McCain's a winner. Loser? MMA fans.
Okay.
I'm not necessarily a big combat sports fan, but I couldn't even escape the negative reaction to the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight that lasted 17 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And the entire card seemed underwhelming. It just seemed like everybody was kind of juiced and then got real, no pun intended, gut punch for how boring it was. So I guess loser MMA fans, if you were expecting more from a bunch of people that haven't fought in years.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't know it was even happening until after it happened. I was like, wait, they did? They fought? Oh, okay. Ronda won in 17 seconds. Cool. Scroll to the next thing.
Well, at first I saw Ronda Rousey won in 17 seconds, and I was kind of, because Ronda she crossed over. She was super famous. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, that must have been awesome. And then the next thing I saw was just a million people saying it was boring. It was a setup. They didn't play. They just cash checks and all this stuff. So it's just never a good reaction after a fight when that's the reaction. Do you have some winners and losers, Dennis?
Well, losers. Anyone thought that was actually going to be a good card? But I actually do have a winner. Us Carolina Hurricanes fans, we actually know when Game 1 is going to be.
We do.
So yeah, winner in that regard. Loser. Goaltending right now, because in the Montreal-Buffalo Game 6, both goaltenders got pulled. Alex Lyon got pulled in favor of, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, or Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen started in favor, then Alex Lyon came in. Doesn't matter.
They're being pulled for each other game after game.
Yeah, then Jacob Dobich gets pulled for, I think it's Jacob Fowler, or Jeremy, whatever it is. There's a guy who hasn't even played in the postseason in the NHL before. All of a sudden, he's in there. So goaltending, losers right now.
It is usually acceptable to be confused or kind of wait, what did I see for what skaters on the ice, right? Because it could be in the middle of a shift, or maybe there's a power play or something. You're like, wait, who was that? Something really squirrely's got to be happening if you're getting confused with which goalies are on the ice. Who was that? Which one? Oh, wait, was they in the middle of a switch? And it's talking goalies. That's a little different. More winners and losers. Winner and loser, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
Winner, via Brett McMurphy, the Jaguars won an ongoing court case, finally, over whether Urban Meyer's conduct justified a firing with cause.
Huh.
So Urban had been trying to get that buyout money, which would have been more than $30 million. And the courts finally ruled that they were justified and his actions did justify for cause. So he's not getting any of that money. So Jacksonville gets to keep it. Winner. Loser, they didn't cut Trevor Lawrence's hair. For their schedule announcement, they had a whole haircut thing, and then they just didn't actually cut it. Turns out it was a wig. Kind of loser behavior to me. Like, if you're going to make a whole thing about it and you're going to try to convince, it's like, that's not a prank. It's like, oh, our quarterback still has hair. It's like, we're not worried about Trevor Lawrence's hair. I think you overestimated how much everybody would care to be like, oh, you got us. Now it just looks like you went through a lot of effort for nothing. More winners and losers. How about loser? I'll start loser, then I'll go winner. We're talking like all-time quarterback families here, okay?
Okay.
Loser, Peyton Manning. Winner, Archie Manning.
All right.
Loser, Peyton Manning. So Aaron Rodgers playing for your Steelers. We didn't get a temperature on that one. How you feel? A little tired?
About it.
He signed a 1-year deal with Pittsburgh. He was in the building. He was out there at OTAs and everything today. But as of right now, Peyton Manning is third all-time in touchdown passes. Rodgers is only 13 behind him, and he just signed the 1-year deal to come back. I assume he'll get at least 13 touchdown passes. Again, injuries and things could add up.
Take the under.
He was well over that last year, right? Was it 24, 25? Something?
I don't know. Take the under.
So Peyton likely going to be knocked out of the top 3. But Archie gets to be a winner. Archie Manning. Eli Manning was doing some podcast. Revealed that Archie didn't like and actually tried to talk him out of it to force the trade on draft day from the Chargers to the Giants. Obviously, Phillip Rivers, locally, guy that ended up going to the Chargers. And then Archie just went out there and kind of defended his kid because family first. And Archie got all of the blame. Everyone was saying, oh, it's because you were on a bad New Orleans team for so long. You wanted to protect your son, and you orchestrated the whole thing. And he just kind of ate that to protect his son. And Eli's like, no, I had a dinner with the Chargers people, and they didn't seem like they had their ducks in a row, so I wanted out. And my dad was just defending me. That's a good pops right there. Step in and take the arrows for your kid. More winners and losers, and again, you can send yours in if you'd like to 99.9 The Fan YouTube live stream comments right there in the live chat. I guess we'll go winner Cleveland Cavaliers, looking at the NBA. A no-stress Game 7 is kind of gangster. To just absolutely dominate Detroit, who, by the way, was the top seed. That is the best kind of Game 7 for Cleveland. So it was, I think, 124-95 was the final, and it didn't feel that close. So, going to a Game 7 and everyone's all wired tight. That thing was over by halftime. So winner, Cleveland Cavaliers. Loser, we talked about it a bit last week, but I want to emphasize it. John Tortorella, Vegas Golden Knights head coach. They skipped media after their clincher to go to the Western Conference Finals. And because of that and previous warnings, they've been stripped of their second-round pick in this year's draft. And Tortorella received a $100,000 fine for what was called flagrant violations of the NHL Stanley Cup playoff media regulations. That stinks. Second-round pick is brutal. But also, Tortorella's kind of on... He's kind of on an audition for the Golden Knights job, I guess.
He's just an interim head coach.
Yeah. To be costing your team second-round picks and then being like, so you definitely want to keep me, right? Is better go win some games against Colorado, I'll tell you that much.
Especially when they don't have a first-round pick in the next 27 years.
Better go win multiple games against Colorado, at least.
They're going to get waxed in that series.
That's not good for Tortorella. Or that whatever GM they have that's going to be not having a first or second round pick. That's winners and losers here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. You have just minutes, about 4 minutes to text in CUP, C-U-P, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to an Eastern Conference Finals game in Raleigh, Canes versus whoever. Anybody show up on Thursday. But if you want to win a pair of tickets, text in CUP, C-U-P, to 919-860-5326. You have to text it in by 4 o'clock, so you have 4 minutes to get this hour's entry. There will be another in the next hour, but you'll never get this one back. Do it right now. We'll take a break. When we come back, football at 4 here on The Drive. Stick around.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have 2 words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. If you're planning a summer road trip, car trouble is the last thing you want to deal with. Small issues can turn into big disruptions once you're on the road. Before you go, Chapel Hill Tire will give you a full bumper-to-bumper inspection to make sure your vehicle is ready for the heat and the miles ahead, so you can spend less time worrying about your car and more time enjoying the trip. Book your appointment today at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It is another very hot day. Highs near records in the mid-90s. Be careful out there. It'll feel more like upper 90s with the heat index. Upper 60s under clear skies tonight, and we're back to 93 for the high tomorrow. On Thursday, a cold front comes through, and it looks like we'll see wetter conditions and cooler temperatures for the weekend.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 128 points to 49,654.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for football at 4. It is also just 15 minutes away from Monday Sound Off. So, collect your thoughts. Canes thoughts, Panthers thoughts, meaning Carolina Panthers, college basketball, college football, whatever you want to talk about, golf. That's coming up at 4:15. We will open up the phone lines. You can call in, bring us the goods. In the meantime, it is 4 o'clock, and on the Drive, that means we talk football. And Joe Person had the report of The Athletic. The Carolina Panthers are not expected to extend Bryce Young's contract this offseason. Pause for everybody's jaws to get off the floor. It's not that surprising, is kind of what I'm getting at, right? I hope you sense the sarcasm in my voice. I had absolutely no expectations, absolutely no, even like, hey, we should check up to see if I had no curiosity about them extending Bryce Young this offseason because there's no reason to. Actually, I don't want to say there's no reason to. The reason to would be if you assume that by next year he will be wildly more expensive, right? It's the same reason you extend anybody before their contract is up is if you think you are getting a deal and trading for the stability and the protection against injury that you will be in return given less per year and less cap hit and all that. I don't think that outweighs the uncertainty about Bryce by a long shot. And I understand why some might be confused by this, because anytime Dave Canales or Dan Morgan or Brad Idzik or anybody is asked about Bryce Young, they speak glowingly. They speak so positively about his development, about how he's gotten better year over year, about how he's their guy, about how they're planning for him, about how they love his skill set, and on and on and on and on. So you might be sitting there going, well, why aren't you extending him? They should extend him. I'm going to expect them to extend him. But in actuality, there's two things happening here. One, you have to be a ruthless business person. And two, you have to be in the same room with him as he tries to lead your team. So you say all the glowing things to make sure he is filled with confidence and he thinks you believe in him, which you do to an extent. But you're a ruthless business person saying, we're not going to get to a Tungo Vailoa. We're not going to sit here and give you big-time quarterback market money without full certainty that we want to and we can win with you having that kind of a cap hit. That's what it comes down to. And for the Bryce, do we call him a hive? Do they have a nickname? Is there some kind? Are they like the Young and the Restless or something?
Something like that. Yeah.
The Bryce Young fans out there that think he can do no wrong. This, what I'm saying, is not a big hate Bryce Young thing. It's a what I believe is a win-win. If you're right and you are one of the Bryce Young is unbelievable, Bryce Young is an elite quarterback guys out there, and trust me, I know there are a lot of you because they come at me on social media. If you're a true Bryce Young believer, stan, if you will, this is good for your guy. Because he's going to go out there, he's going to have another year of experience, he's going to have another year with the wide receivers, he's going to have a slightly improved supporting cast, a new play caller, and he's going to go bananas, and then your guy's going to get paid stupid amounts of money. If you're maybe not as accurate, or maybe he's not as accurate, if you're not correct and he goes out there and he doesn't play as well, the Panthers will have dodged a fairly significant bullet. I don't even know if this is a cliche. I say it a lot, right? Don't grocery shop when you're hungry. You have to take certain emotions out of these kind of big decisions. It's the same reason I say, like, don't retire right after a bad loss. Right, because everybody hates the game right after you had a 21-point comeback against you, and your line wasn't blocking, and you were getting smacked around, and your ribs hurt to breathe. Right, everybody went, I'm never playing again. Then a month later, your ribs are healed, you're working out again, and you're like, actually, I'm going to come back. And then people start calling you like Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and stuff for playing with the retirement. I'm going, just don't say anything that close after an emotional loss. If you look at the way that Bryce Young's season ended with that playoff game where he did play well, it's the reverse of that, right? Don't give extensions right after the first playoff game your team has had in a few years when your quarterback played pretty well. Let that emotion wear off a bit. And maybe look at some of the games right before it, like the loss to Seattle when he threw for 54 yards, and go, that's a bit more sobering, right?
Don't point that out on social media. The hive will come after you. Trust me, I know.
I think we've all been there at times. Or the loss to the Saints when he threw for 163 yards. Or the loss to San Fran when he threw for 169 yards, which, by the way, are all in the last, 7 games of the year, including postseason.
Yeah, and those touchdowns, the interceptions he threw right there on the red zone.
There you go. On Monday Night Football. There's reasons on both sides of the equation. And when there's reasons to give an extension and reasons to stay the heck away, what ends up happening? Well, you play the middle and you go, well, let's not do anything. Let's give you another year as the starter. Let's evaluate how that year goes, and then we'll come back and talk about it after we have more information. That's fair. It's wildly actually rare in sports that there is a fair negotiation, but this feels very fair. And it's not even really Bryce betting on himself because they weren't going to offer him any kind of fair extension right now unless they offer him a lowball deal, in which case he'd be right to say no. Because here's the other thing. Let me just do a real quick try preemptively get ahead of some of your arguments. He could sign with the Panthers, and I believe they would offer him kind of a bridge deal, right? Think of something like what Baker Mayfield signed with the Bucs when he first went over there, right? Something in the upper 20s, lower 30s millions per year, right? He could sign that kind of deal, and the Panthers would likely give it to him. But guess what? Bryce has probably shown just enough already that he could get a similar deal to that from someone else, even if this year doesn't go fantastic. It wouldn't be with the Panthers, but if he hit the open market, somebody would give him a chance to start. So why would he take off the top option, right, which would be like $50+ million a year if he plays really well this year? Why would he and his representation take that off the table if there's a pretty good chance that even if he doesn't reach that top option, he can get the bridge deal from somewhere else next year or the year after? Number 1 picks have 9 lives. People keep thinking they can fix you. So he doesn't have to protect his floor as much as I think a lot of players that weren't drafted that highly would have had to protect. Right? I'll accept whatever you want to give me because I don't know if anyone else is going to give me that chance. When you're the number 1 overall pick, it's like actually 2 or 3 more teams are going to give me a chance. So I'm going to chase that $55 million per year.
Isn't this year and next year with the 5th-year option, isn't that kind of like a bridge deal anyway? I mean, that's 2 years. Isn't that basically a bridge?
Yes, except for you'd want more years after that is what I'm saying. Like he could sign the deal after that for the same money the Panthers are probably likely to give him now with whoever he ends up playing for after that. Like he doesn't have to protect that long-term stability because it's kind of built into the level of prospect that he was. The 5th-year option I think was fair to pick up. I don't think I would give him that on like if the 5th-year option wasn't a mechanism, if that wasn't a contract thing where it was already decided and you just said yes or no, I don't think he would have gotten that much from the Panthers. I don't think I would have given him that much from the Panthers. But because it's such like a cut and dry, yep, like then that's just how much he ends up getting. It's not chicken scratch at all. It's almost $30 million for that year. It's crazy. Let's play some audio from Dave Canales. Earlier today, he spoke with the media. Obviously, a lot of reaction to the schedule. Dave Canales gave his thoughts on having 3 primetime games, which we talked about Friday. It's week 4, week 8, week 12. They get the whole potpourri. They get a Sunday nighter, they get a Thursday nighter, they get a Monday nighter in that order. So Canales was asked about his thoughts on having 3 primetime games this season.
For me, it's just about opportunity and improving our football, guys playing with that energy. We're a fun team to watch. Last year, a couple of games that no one really gave us a shot at. We're able to play competitive football and win some of those. And there were also games that got away from us. But the overall general improvement from our group, watching our players emerge and really step into their own and really bring that type of environment, and especially just being around town and just hearing the outpouring from our fan base here, and just how excited they are for the season. So there's a building excitement for me as the head coach. I just get excited about the primetime games because, as we all know, as you get playoff opportunities, these are night games. Sometimes they're just standalone games, and the way that they stagger them, it helps us to be able to practice and be able to play in different environments, play at night on primetime games in odd windows, and sometimes it's a Saturday game or a Sunday, and all that just prepares you for the postseason and for those opportunities. So I'm excited to have that and play some excellent teams that we respect.
A fun team to watch might be taken a little farther. Sometimes competitive doesn't equal fun. There were a handful of games that were very fun, and if they do that in prime time, they will build a fan base. They'll build a national following beyond what they have now. The teams that they play in prime time, they're going to be good. I mean, maybe Tampa not as much, but the teams they're playing in prime time early on, they're going to be good. And it's you're going to have to play maybe above your level to impress somebody in those games, right? Catching the Lions and the Packers. Those are teams that are going to be, super high aspirations this year, especially if they're healthy at that point and they catch the Lions early. So you'd expect them to be. You're going to have to bring your A game. I thought this was a interesting little mental thing. My wife and I watched that Kevin Hart's doing a stand-up like American Idol on Netflix, where stand-up comedy, went auditioned a bunch and they're trying to find one. And one of the guest judges was Chris Rock.
Okay.
And he spoke to, I don't know, one of the groups that was before one of their performances. And Kevin was like, "Hey, Chris Rock, you're one of the best to do it. What advice do you have here?" And his advice was like, "You can go be better than yourself right now." And I was like, what does that even mean? And he explained, he's like, every year, if you watch the playoffs in a sport, there are people that are not that good that play great because they rise to the level of the moment. The bright lights do something to them. He's like, don't make that an option for yourself. Believe in yourself to go out there and be funnier than you normally are, because this is the moment where you can change your life. I look at that game 4 against the Lions kind of that way. Sunday Night Football for the first time in a decade. 2016. Really good team, really charismatic team, really tough team. A lot of the things that the Panthers want to be, the Lions have been the last few years. I think the Lions, at least on paper, their roster looks more talented. So you're going to have to step up to the moment, be a little bit better than even you are, but it happens. Prime time can bring out the best in you. It doesn't necessarily have to be an intimidating, overwhelming thing that sends you back to your 1 p.m. Sunday slate with your tail between the legs. You are allowed to rise to the occasion. You're allowed to be better than you are. And you might need to. Maybe not as much against Tampa later in the season, but it's a long way into the future. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, we have a cup check-in today, correct? We have a cup check-in, so we'll give you that. A little Canes talk coming up, and we will open up our Monday sound-off. But first, it's time for our 4 o'clock keyword and our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is Raleigh, R-A-L-L-Y. Text Raleigh to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the Eastern Conference Finals in Raleigh. Do we know what day? Is it Game 2? It is Game 2.
Game 2.
A pair of tickets to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals in Raleigh. We know the Canes will be playing. We don't know who they are going to be playing. But if you and a friend, right, it's a pair of tickets, want to go to the game, Raleigh, R-A-L-L-Y. Text it right now to 919-860-5326. If you text that in before 5 o'clock, emphasis before 5 o'clock, it expires at 5. We can't extend the deadline. If you text Raleigh to 919-860-5326 by 5 o'clock, you will gain this hour's entry into the contest. As promised, we'll have a cup check-in and a Monday sound-off coming up next. Stick around.
Need more Stanley Cup chatter, Canes fans? Listen afternoons with Adam Gold in The Drive for our Cup Check-In, served up by Carolina Ale House. We talk with hockey's best, past and present, bringing you the latest insight on the chase for Lord Stanley's Cup. It's the Cup Check-In on 99.9 The Fan, served up by Carolina Ale House. Come to Carolina Ale House for the official Carolina Hurricanes viewing parties throughout the playoffs. Visit CarolinaAleHouse.com/Canes to see the schedule.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier Factory Authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Hey, it's Tim Donnelly. And if you're like me, you're a storyteller. And you need to embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. So yeah, if we're sitting around watching the headliner, we want to be talking about when we saw him at the dive bar a few years ago. Or if you stop your friends mid-festival to look at the stars, First of all, do that to me. I love that sort of thing. And then embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing. Hazy, citrusy, smooth. There's a reason it's America's best-selling hazy IPA. Embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. Enjoy responsibly.
The NBA playoffs are underway, and now you can trade every game on Kalshi. You can also trade on who wins each series, the conference finals, and the championship. San Antonio is currently trading at 19% to win it all, meaning a $100 trade pays out over $500 if they take the title. On Kalshi, you're trading against other people in a live market. No house, no odds makers. And as odds move, you can buy in or out anytime throughout the postseason. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code SHOT to get $10 when you trade $10. KALSHI. Kalshi. Trade on anything.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Want to remind everybody, if you're thinking about going to the Durham Bulls tomorrow, we have the 99.9 The Fan Zone at Durham Bulls games for Tuesday games. Tuesday games, you can get tickets for $9.99. Get it? 99.9, 999. $9.99 in our section. Our section is great, by the way. It's right down the third baseline, prime foul ball territory, great view, party atmosphere, great for the family, great for the kids. I would choose to sit there even if it wasn't the 99.9 The Fan Zone. So 99.9 The Fan Zone, Durham Bulls games. Tomorrow's game qualifies because it is on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You can get tickets for $9.99.
Early first pitch, too, tomorrow, by the way. I think it's 11:30 a.m.
There you go. Get out there. There's no time's too early for a hot dog. It's the theme of the show. It is the theme of today's show.
Nothing wrong. Never too early for a hot dog.
Or I don't know, popcorn, pretzel, whatever you're into. They got the whole thing over there at Durham Bulls Athletic Park.
11:05 first pitch.
$9.99 tickets. $9.99. Again, our section's in a pretty good spot. So call them up, check them out online. Get the 99.9 The Fan Zone special. Now we have, by the way, we will open up the phone lines as we get started here for a cup check-in. While the cup check-in is going, you can call in and get to waiting on the lines for our Monday sound-off. That number is very simple. It's 919-860-5326. Easter Automotive Group Hotline. Call in now while we hear our cup check-in, sponsored by Carolina Ale House. Make Carolina Ale House your destination for all Canes playoff games. When they do go on the road, there's big parties at the Cary location of the Carolina Ale House, indoor, outdoor, big movie screen for the game, Stormy, the whole thing. For home games, you can still, if you can't get in the building to watch it live, the next best place, Carolina Ale House. So check them out, and they sponsor the 99.9 The Fan Cup check-in. Our check-in today is our very own Adam Gold, checking in with a familiar voice for Canes fans, John Forslund, TNT Sports USA radio announcer. Here's the check-in.
It was the first time in a while that I had seen Montreal locked in a defensive way, because they have been not that way during the course of the season. They give up more shots, more shot attempts, more chances. They are very comfortable giving you opportunities as long as they get theirs. But their high end of skill is terrifying how good it is. How would you stack them up in terms of skill around the league?
Well, they're right up there with the high-end teams that can play that way, and they take advantage of the middle of the ice on the rush. So if you allow them room, and if you allow them to feast on turnovers and counterattack, that's what you're going to get.
Yep.
So I've been around them quite a bit, doing the Monday nights in Canada for Amazon. And Marty St. Louis' mission all year is to try and get his team comfortable with low event games, and that's not an easy task for a young team. That's kind of like a caged animal that they want to get out and they want to go. And, he wants them to, he's pretty sound coach. I mean, he's an underrated coach. I think he's done a remarkable job in a short period of time. He's very similar to Rod in the way he communicates, the way he coaches, the way he played. There's a common thread between those two guys, I think, in terms of how they attack being a head coach in the NHL. So he's been trying to mold them into that. They push back at times only because of their talent, and their power play is unbelievable, So, this is kind of their strength. And the Buffalo team is underrated because they can play the same way, and they have defensemen that can be a big part of what happens, like we saw with Rasmus Dahlin, right? So they've got that high end of their game, their team game too. I guess the bottom line, and we get back to the old principles of hockey, is goalkeeping, and what's going to show up, is Ryan Miller playing tonight for the Buffalo Sabres? What are they going to do? I know it's going to be Luukkonen. Okay, fine. But he's got to bring a game, and Dobish has to still get through a learning curve, to be fair to him. This has been a lot, and he's handled it quite well, but is he at a point where it tips negatively against him? Only we'll know tonight as we see the game start and how poised he looks. But he's passed the grade. This is way ahead of where they expected him to be at this stage of his pro career. So we'll see.
There was a time this season, John Forslund is joining us here on the Adam Gold Show of the Eastern Conference Finals for national radio. There was a time this year where they didn't think that they had a goalie, that they thought it was going to be Fowler, the rookie who came in and finished the game the other night, that they thought it was going to be him. They started the season with Sam Montembeault. He was no good. And Dobish, until, I don't know, maybe midway through the season, was also no good. And then, of course, second half of the year, he was absolutely lights out. I know Carolina got Dobished twice in the, I think, after the Olympics. I believe it was both post-Olympics. I thought Carolina was the better team both games they played. They just couldn't solve Dobish, but it doesn't really matter at this point, and what happened in the regular season doesn't matter. John Forslund joining us here on the Adam Gold Show. How do you describe Lane Hutson on the blue line to people who have never maybe seen him before?
Electrifying, but that's with the puck, okay? The thing about him, and I didn't know this, watching games and trying to follow numbers and analytics and all these different things that we're privy to now, I didn't realize that until being around him and talking to his coach, the amount of plays that he kills in the defensive zone. For a smaller guy, he is able to kill plays, and they track that number now, and it's astounding. So I'm not sure that Quinn Hughes kills more plays than Lane Hutson. I think we'd have to see that, but I think it's probably they're two similar players in terms of how they play with the puck and how they skate and how they can create and use space and all that. But I think Hutson is underrated defensively because he's an undersized guy. And he's today's defenseman, in today's game where you have to move the puck up the ice quickly. You have to be able to transport the puck. He's a one-man escape route out of the zone. That's no problem for him. So he's a lot of fun to watch, remarkable skater, and an outlier when it comes to skating because, he trains without lacing up his skates. His dad taught him that when he was a little boy, and he does a lot of that in the off season, and it helps him. And he's not very big, but he plays big, and he wants the puck, and he's just growing and growing, and I think he's going to be one of the greatest defensemen we're going to see, in this era, moving down the pike.
Once again, that was our 99.9 The Fan Cup check-in, our very own Adam Gold checking in with John Forslund of TNT and Sports USA Radio, and obviously has a history with the Canes as well, bringing the insight into the Canes as they make their way into the Eastern Conference Finals and what's going on elsewhere in the postseason. All of it sponsored by Carolina Ale House, the official sponsor of the 99.9 The Fan Cup check-in. Make sure you make them your destination for all Canes playoff games. Now, as promised, it's Monday Sound-Off time. There it is. I mean, the bellowing horn to get ready for a Monday sound off. Heister Automotive Group hotline is open for your calls, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. You lead the way. We'll follow. And we'll start with Robert and Raleigh on the call-in line waiting patiently. Robert, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off.
Thank you for taking my call. You know, I never take myself too serious, but Game 4 against the Flyers.
Okay.
The Canes are down 1-0, and, you know, I'm listening to Mike and Tripp. I'm not watching it. I got the game cast, ESPN, and it shows the predictor. And even down 1-0, they were 50-50 to win the game. Towards the end of the first, the predictor still had the Canes 60% chance to win. You know you're doing good if you're down 1-0, and they're giving you a 60% chance to win. And then my second point is this, and, you know, I never take myself too serious. It's great when the Canes sweep, but can we lose a couple games on the road so we can get a couple more home games? And this is why. The local businesses lose or make $3 million every time the Canes have an extra playoff game. So right now we're down $12 million because they keep sweeping the series. I'm being funny, but it's a $3 million impact. So if they do lose a game, don't everybody freak out. The local businesses will appreciate it. Thanks so much. Bye.
All right, Robert, appreciate it. I'm unaware of the exact number on a financial impact, but I'm sure the community does benefit from more home playoff games. My rebuttal would say winning the series gets you more home playoff games. Would you rather get a couple extra games in the first couple rounds or potentially 4+ more home games in the rounds beyond, which is what I think you're really playing for?
I mean, a parade. That's what you want.
A parade, would do a lot of numbers for local businesses. That might be the best point. Let's go to Reggie in Sanford up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Reggie, welcome to the show. Go ahead and sound off, please.
How's it going, Tim?
Going well. Happy to hear from you. What do you got?
Yeah, well, you know, the ACC conference tournament in baseball is set and stuff, and you know, we knew about Carolina and all the other teams pretty much. But what about Boston College? Boston College made it to the top 4 in the conference. I mean, there's something to be said, you know. So, you know, I just want to give a small shout out to Boston College. I'm a Tar Heel fan, but I appreciate Boston College having a good season.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the call. That's a Carolina fan looking out for the Boston College squad.
You know, it's not often you hear that.
Just want a little, or actually, you know what? I might be mad if I were a Boston College fan. And we don't need you looking out for us. We don't need your pity praise. We're a top 4 seed. But hey, I guess shout out to Boston College. They are a top 4 seed, as is Florida State. We didn't mention Florida State either. We just mentioned
Georgia Tech is the top seed.
Georgia Tech is a wagon, and Carolina might be like the second or third best team in the country, and they're the 2nd seed in the ACC. So that's where I focused my energy earlier. But yes, Boston College and Florida State also both in that top 4. Heister Automotive Group hotline open for your calls, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. We go to Luke in Burlington up next on the call-in line. Luke, welcome to the show. Happy to have you. Go ahead and sound off.
Yeah, how we doing, gentlemen? Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we got you. Go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, 2 quick things. One, go Canes, ready for the series to start. I feel like I'm just as excited as the players are and anxious or whatever. So go Canes on that end. Second thing is just because I feel like it's been kind of pushed to the back seat for a lot of teams, but the transfer portal and Mike Malone and what he's doing at Carolina right now. I think that one of the biggest points and the biggest successes that he's had so far is keeping Sean May on that staff. I don't think a lot of people realize like what he did for the university as far as being able to recruit guys. He knows the culture. He's played there. He's a national champion. He's been there for however many years, but just his way to recruit and get guys to the university and being able to relate, because he is a little bit of a younger guy compared to some of them. But I like the fact that he's bringing Deion Thompson in and Brandon Robinson as well, both also national champions. But like I said, keeping Sean May on the staff, I think, was huge for Mike Malone moving forward.
All right, I like that. I appreciate you for the call. Go ahead and call in anytime. We talked about on Friday, I think it was, because they had gotten another big man recruit. Like, I don't know if any, especially post Matt Abel, Terrence Brown, which was kind of like a whirlwind 48 hours of commitments for Mike Malone. And then overseas commitments always come with a little bit less buzz just because we're unfamiliar with them, even if they're really good. It's a little different than, we're all very familiar with what 5-star means. Like, oh, he's a 5-star high school recruit, McDonald's All-American. Like, we know what that means. When they say, he averaged 12 points per game in Serie B in France, we're like, what does that mean? But so what I'm saying is I'm not sure any individual commitment from Carolina really like shook the college basketball world. But then we did on Friday. You look at the whole roster and you're like, wait a second, they may have put together something pretty good here. I don't know if I was excited for each of them, but you look at the whole thing, you tally up all of the size. They go like 7 foot, 6'11", 6'10" in the perimeter, in the post. And then on the perimeter, they have some Matt Abel, Terrence Brown, assuming Matt Abel comes out and stays in the college basketball world, not in the draft. There's something good happening there. I don't think if Carolina doesn't play well this year, it's because they don't have enough talent. Chemistry, gelling, coming together, all of that still very much has a question mark there. But that's down the road. You don't got to worry about that now. Heaster Automotive Group hotline open for your calls, 919-860-5326. It is, if you don't get in, keep calling, right? Same thing I always say. Lines will open up as callers drop off. 919-860-5326. Next up, we go to one of our loyal callers. We have Edward and Wendell. Edward, good to hear from you again. The floor is yours.
Let's go, Canes. Eastern Conference Finals, one of our best chances. We ain't got Florida, we ain't got the Rangers. So let's go beat one of the either the Montreal Canadiens or the Sabres, depending on who tonight. I feel like we could both classify them as Canadian teams because Buffalo sings the Canadian national anthem for their games. But I said this last year and I'll say it again. We won the Miko Random trade 110%. Look where the Stars are, and look where we are with Stan Coven and Rantanen. We absolutely cooked with that trade, and we have one of the best goal scorers, I think, behind Mitch Marner. And I think all we need to do is get the first line going, and we will be unstoppable. And there will be a parade near my birthday because my birthday is in June. So hopefully I get a birthday present from the Hurricanes.
I hope you get a birthday present from the Canes, too.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Edward. I love the enthusiasm. I love the Miko little dig. It's all good. That was a fantastic call.
My birthday also in June.
All right, so you guys can get together and
yes,
I don't know, celebrate your birthday. Hopefully
birthday
with a
gathering
parade.
at the parade. I love it.
There you go.
Love it.
How about you know what, the Miko Rantanen deal is an interesting one because it is very easy to just look at and we did it right. It's fun to poke, kind of tease Dallas a little bit and just say, everyone that's traded away Miko Rantanen in the last 18 months is they've been a steamroller in the postseason with Colorado steamrolling the West and the Canes steamrolling the East. In actuality, it's probably a lesson in like team building, in fit versus talent, right? You want to have the most talent, don't get me wrong, but you can't do so at risk of fit. And obviously Miko, I do think, fit into Colorado because you have a ton of success there. But everything kind of runs its course and you move on and you try to do as well as you can in the pivot. The hard part will be at the end of it all, kind of quantifying the trade if you're talking about who wins and who loses. Because one of those picks did go in the Keandre Miller deal, but like so did Scott Morrow and something else. So how much of that do you credit to it? So it's going to be hard to quantify, but Logan Stankoven keeps scoring like he's scoring in the first two rounds, then it's going to be hard to argue that the Canes didn't come out of it a winner. Maybe not the only winner, but a winner. It would be unfair to not acknowledge that Natchez has been working for Colorado and Jury's done some really nice things for Colorado as well. So it's not entirely like the Canes didn't give anything else up. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, I want to ask you this, and it's brought up by the beginning of that Edward conversation. Are we comfortable now at this point saying this is the Canes' best chance outside of them, right? But kind of setting and situation and context-wise, out of the last, we'll call it like 5 seasons, this is their best chance to go win a cup?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, 100%. You've never been this healthy. You've never been this rested and this strong, especially at this point? Absolutely.
I actually think it's under-talked about how healthy they are because people are superstitious and afraid of. But they are, like, they're getting long breaks, and there was really nobody at the beginning of the break that you're like, oh, good, this break will get them healthy. Last time, right, in between the first and second round, Ehlers, Nikishin, you were like, oh, good, this will give them time to hopefully heal up from their things they're dealing with, their ailments. This one, you're just hoping that nothing new pops up during the break, which is extremely valuable. But also, like, situationally, not only, I don't love, even though we all do it, I don't love going like, Florida, Panthers aren't there, this is our chance, because it feels like you're almost dodging them. If Florida made it this year, you wouldn't be afraid of them. You know what I mean? So it's not that, like, they're not there. It's just there aren't many teams out there that go, talent for talent with you across the roster this year, and I would include Florida in that. You can say it's injuries or whatever, but nobody gives Canes any kind of leeway when they're dealing with injuries, so I don't see why we would turn around and offer the favor in the other direction. So, yeah, I think this is the Canes' best chance or most realistic chance or whatever you want to call it, best setup for them to go ahead and achieve the big goals that have been eluding them over the last 5-10 years. Now that and how much is a cup of coffee now? Like $8.50? That and $8.50 will buy you a cup of coffee, right? Mm-hmm. Like, being set up best does nothing for you if you don't take advantage of it. So there's still that task at hand. But yeah, I think it's worth mentioning now that it is the most set up they've been to go achieve it.
It's also the most talented team that they've had. As a whole, it's the most talented team they've had.
Don't get me wrong. I was talking about the things kind of outside of their locker room there. They are also, most talented is tough to discern. I think they're my favorite team. And the reason why is because they can go score with you, right? And they do have a bit more youthful, physical, there's some of that going on, which has obviously been something they've struggled with where it comes to physical play and being able to kind of, match that aggression back. So the things that they haven't done as well in years past, I think they do a lot better this year. Maybe that came at a little bit of expense of some other things, but it hasn't hurt them in the postseason yet. So, I'm really looking forward to what both the situation is for them and how they deal with it internally. The good news about Buffalo and Montreal, they're both good teams, okay? I don't want to take anything away from the seasons they've had. Montreal especially, super youthful talent. Buffalo, we've sung the praises of a bunch of players on Buffalo because we wanted the Canes to trade for them. So we can't go back and change that, right? The receipts are there. I believe both teams, if the Carolina Hurricanes play their A game, the Canes win. So there doesn't have to be a lot of hoping that they mess up or they do this or they let a few through. If the Canes play their A game, I believe they beat them both. We'll wrap up. That was a long little diatribe. Good job, Edward, getting us started on the conversation. But we'll finish up with one more call. Lewis in Raleigh has been ready to go. So Lewis, welcome to the show. End us with a bang. What do you have for us?
Yeah, just hoping that the game tonight, Buffalo wins. I think that's the best matchup for Carolina, especially since Carolina lost 3 games to them already this year. Plus, I always look at the best goalie. I want to avoid that one the best as possible. So, even though Roberts gave up 6 goals last time out, I still think he's better than anything Buffalo has. So, wasn't Buffalo to win, but either way, I think Carolina's got a good shot. I did want to talk about the morning radio show you guys got. I wish y'all had somebody that didn't just talk football all the time. Those guys, all they talk about is football, football, football. I understand that NFL season is fine, college football is fine then, but good grief, when the season ends, all they talk about is football. They talk about what's going to happen with free agency. After free agency, what's going to happen with the draft. After the draft, what's going to happen with the schedule. And then after that, you turn on the radio, it's still talking about football. I mean, you got the playoffs going on in hockey. You got the playoffs going on in basketball. They had the PGA championship. The WNBA started. There are other sports going on besides just football.
Hey, listen, I appreciate it. I'll pass it on to whoever I can pass it on to. All I can really speak for is this show and the things you mentioned we talk a bunch about. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for calling in. And I said end with a bang, and I consider that one a blaze of some kind. So thank you very much. Speaking of the Buffalo versus Montreal deal, a stat that we'll talk about, obviously, more if Montreal wins tonight. But Cole Caulfield, Slavkovsky, their young former number 1 overall pick, and Demidov, who was, second in Calder Trophy voting this year?
Something like that, yeah.
They have 25 points in 39 games these playoffs. 4 of those 25 points are at even strength. The rest are on the power play. So as far as matchups go, if the thing you do is ball out on the power play and you're running into the Canes, that's strength on strength this postseason. So that might be interesting is all I'm saying. I'd like to see Jacob Slavin get a swing at those young guys on the power play. But we'll see. Again, we'll talk about that more, obviously, if Montreal ends up going on and advancing tonight against Buffalo. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, and there is a controversy, I was going to say a brewing, but it's actually already bubbling over from high school sports here in the state of North Carolina. But before we get to the controversy, Dennis has something he'd like to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for Loan Pronto. Folks, credit card interest rates, they're over 29% in most cases, and most people are only making minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved, and they saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out of pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com and see how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760. Or visit loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll get to a in-state sports controversy. But before we even do that, Raleigh is the key word for the hour. RALLY. Text it to 919-860-5326 to gain this hour's entry into potential playoff tickets. We want you to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final in Raleigh. And to do that, every hour, you have to text in the keyword before the end of the hour. So you got about 15 minutes where Raleigh is still alive. RALLY. Text it to 919-860-5326 if you want to win playoff tickets. Stick around.
One goal.
Let's go, Canes!
Slavin, he gets it to Hall. Hall whips it across. Wait for the shot. He scores! It's over!
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Wow. Playoff hockey. Here we go. Here's a chance of Ashinaho in. Short hit back in. Scores! Oh, talk to me, Shorty! Carolina!
The Triangle's official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends. Give me a
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
With Bet365 Early Payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Is anybody at the boys track state meet over the weekend? High school state track? Anybody? Well, whether if you were or you weren't, you may have already heard. It got a little dicey at the end. So Mallard Creek appears to have won. Let me take a step back here. Winning a state championship is a really big deal. Okay, the track and field state championships are a prime time kind of feel, right? They are a big time feel. Track isn't always put in the spotlight of high school sports. They don't always have the biggest crowds, but state track becomes a bigger ceremony. A disqualification on the final event of the day cost Mallard Creek's boys track team a state title. Mallard Creek's Nyan Brown was called for a DQ for showing the back of his hand while crossing the finish line. Okay? Everybody with me? So Nyan Brown was the anchor leg for his team's 4x4. And anybody that's been involved in track, especially high school track, you know the events always end with the 4x400 meter relay. It's a glorious race where everybody is exhausted and you leave it all out on the track, and it's an appropriate way to end a meet. So Mallard Creek and Jordan, the teams that eventually finished 1 and 2, were not in the event, but in overall. Jordan won, Mallard Creek did not due to the disqualification. We're both in the event, and I'm sure Mallard Creek had done the math that, as long as they beat Jordan, that they're going to win the state title. So Nyan Brown, as he was crossing the line, held up the back of his hand with I don't know, how much would you say was between him? Like 20 yards between him and everybody else?
A lot of steps. It was a good distance.
Put up his hand as if to say, I believe, like my interpretation of it, right? You don't know what's going on in his head. I believe as if to say that's where the ring goes.
Yeah.
Like that's where we're winning a state championship. That's where the ring goes. That was called a disqualification for taunting. I want to be clear here. I understand the rules, and they were passed around often, that there's a rule against celebrating before the end of the race. In my humble opinion, and I did run high school track, it's a clown show of a decision. To disqualify an athlete in that level of race for doing what he did. There is a separation between spirit of the rule and letter of the law. There was 0.0 showing up of the opponent. He did not turn around. He did not look. He did not point. He celebrated. And the celebration, if we're being real, was pretty muted of celebrations, as you can only do at the end of a 4x4. He was not doing somersaults. He held up his hand. Now, since then, there's been a little bit of he said, she said, okay? The governing body is saying that this player was warned after his state record celebration in the 300-meter hurdles. which is another brutal race. This guy must love just absolutely exhausting himself. So he sets a state record in a previous race, and after finishing the race, and I watched a video on this one, there was no celebration before the finish line on that one. He was going for a record. After finishing the race, he flexes, and he turned around, not really to anybody, but he was facing back where everybody was coming from. So they're saying they warned him there, and that turned the next one into like a zero tolerance, which is why he was disqualified.
Even the officials, like our Joel Bryan of High School OT, who was there, said officials even told the media that this athlete was warned.
And the he said, she said element of it is the Athletic national publication gets involved, talks to the coach at Mallard Creek, and the coach says if they warned him, they didn't warn me. And every warning that he's ever been a part of includes the coach. So the coach is saying if it was a warning, it was almost like a off the books warning or something, because it's high school, right? I mean, now I'm jumping in here. It's high school. You have to warn the coach if you warn the player. He's not even legally an adult, right? There's got to be some stewardship there, some chaperoning going on. But again, it's he said, she said. It's they said he did, they said he didn't. There's, I guess, no evidence of a written warning or video warning. And also, I would argue they were different infractions because the first one, there was zero celebration before he crossed the line. The next one, he was penalized for doing it before he crossed the line. Also, and this is just all the nuts and bolts of it before we get to what I think is the real story. Also, there were, and again, according to Joel Bryan, high school OT, there were other more demonstrative celebrations at the finish line by other teams throughout the day that did not result in a DQ. You can find pictures. People, arms up. People, arms out to their side. People pointing. People holding batons up well before or as they cross the finish line to their races in that very same meet. So a state championship is a big deal. Taking it away is a brutal punishment. I'm not here to say the guy didn't break any rules. Nyan Brown, as the rules are illustrated, if they were being enforced to the letter of the law, he broke a rule. The crime and punishment, to me, need to be on similar levels. And crime was the wrong word there. The infraction and punishment need to be on similar levels. There needs to be some common sense in the room that says, is what he did bad enough to take away a state championship from a team? And you need to consider the rule entirely. I think it's an awful rule not to let you celebrate. Taunt is one thing. You turn around, you point, you do that, and it's high school, young people, you don't want them doing it, cool. But a fist bump when you're 20 yards up, clapping as you cross the line, arms above your head as you win a mile race, none of that should be, like, let's not act like the people behind them are such soft individuals that they can't have the person in front of them hold up the back of their hand as they cross the finish line. And if they can't deal with that, part of the lesson needs to be them dealing with losing better. Mallard Creek deserves to win a state championship unless there's a long list of things that they were warned for, and it was a last straw situation where they're like, listen, we told you to do nothing, absolutely nothing. You needed to cross the line winning a state championship in a grueling, glorious team event as if you don't have a pulse, or else we were going to take it away. Unless it was that kind of a warning, it's ridiculous that they took away a state championship for what he did. I would argue they shouldn't even punish him for it, but if you wanted to be a real stickler for the rules, take away a team point. Take away 3 team points. Take away whatever you got to take away, not the state championship. And I don't even want to get into the like real deep stuff about it. I just want to look at it and say, the guy held up his hand as he crossed the finish line. Guy held up his hand as he crossed the finish line. That's what we're talking about? That's enough to it's bad for the sport. It's bad for the state. Do you know what I saw today on social media? It was going viral. At the Big Ten track and field championships, I think it was a Maryland runner, won and started dancing.
Oh, yeah, I did see this.
And the quote was, he'd be put in jail if he were in North Carolina. And that's the comment that was going super viral. It's not good for anybody when that becomes your branding. Sports are fun. Sports are competitive. Sports are passionate. Sports bring out emotion. If the way that it doesn't hurt anybody, it doesn't embarrass anybody, you let them play. You let them play. Every athlete at every level, I believe, has a story of someone doing something much more insulting and disrespectful than that. And you would never want that person to be penalized for it. Go look at the video. Make a decision for yourself. If you think it was worthy of being the state championship disqualifying infraction, I don't think we'll agree, and I don't think we would have much in common. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for the starting five. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new iced coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come and throw it in and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
L'Oreal meteorologist Kat Campbell. It's a hot evening out there. Temperatures tonight only dip down to the upper 60s for lows under clear skies. Tuesday, the heat is back, mostly sunny with a high of 94, coming within a degree of the record high. We're all the way up to 96 on Wednesday.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 160 points to 49,686.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know what, Dennis? I want everybody to have the full 5 o'clock hour. I want to give you the most possible chance this hour to get your entry into our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. It's time for our 5 o'clock keyword in our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. This hour's keyword is playoff. One word. Playoff. P-L-A-Y-O-F-F. No spaces, no dashes. Playoff. One word. Text the keyword playoff, just the keyword, nothing else, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final in Raleigh. You have until 6 o'clock, but don't wait. Don't procrastinate. You have until 6 o'clock, but do it right now or the next time it is safe for you to text. Text playoff, P-L-A-Y-O-F-F, all one word, to 919-860-5326. If you do that, you will gain this hour's entry into our Canes playoff ticket giveaway, and we want you to win tickets. All of you. Only one of you can win the pair, but we want all of you to. So we're giving you all the same chance. Text in playoff to 919-860-5326. All right, it's a hot start to the hour. We'll try to keep up the momentum with our starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Back to Sasser. They dump it into Durham. Durham blocked from behind by Mobley, and he gets it back. Mobley gets it back from Durham. They kick it to the corner. Struess wide open for 3. Struess! The Struess is loose. He buries a 3.
It's too much.
We know the conference championship teams in the NBA. On the East, 4th-seeded Cavs, 3rd-seeded Knicks. In the West, top-seeded Thunder, 2nd-seeded Spurs. I'm sure I'm not the only one to say this. Feels like the NBA championship is going to be decided in the Western Conference Finals. No disrespect to the Cleveland or New York Knicks contingents out there. Just the West has been a different beast, and the Thunder and Spurs are really gosh darn good. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander won the MVP over the weekend. I do wonder if this isn't going to be one of those MVPs we look back on and go, how? Remember when Steve Nash beat like Shaq and Kobe and all these, they were just like on an absolute run, and looking back, it's like, oh, interesting. They really, really liked those 10 assists, didn't they? Victor Wembanyama, who's, by the way, going up against Shai in the Western Conference Finals. Victor Wembanyama was the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, I think, perhaps ever. Unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. And he averaged 25 points per game. Seems like that should be worth an MVP. Jokic led the league in rebounds and assists. And also scored over 25 points per game. Seems like there's some other guys, but I guess Shai is kind of like until you're beaten, you're undefeated kind of guy. He's the best player on the best team. And OKC looks like they're going to be on the precipice of a long run of being very good. So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander got the MVP. And now Victor Wembanyama, if he wants to, can go settle that on the court. They both start that series. Thunder Spurs starts tonight, by the way. Game 1, 8:30. I think most Canes fans will be paying attention to Buffalo, Montreal. But if you are not a hockey fan or not interested in watching the opponents, Thunder Spurs is going to be really fun. A lot of really good players there. Wembanyama's an alien. That is number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together. Let's do that hockey.
Canes fans, you will finally know the opponent. Buffalo or Montreal. Tonight, they play Game 7. Two of the most exciting words in sports. Game 7. This has been a series of, that team looks good. Oh, no, wait, that team looks good. Oh, no, wait, that team doesn't look good. Oh, no, wait, that team doesn't look good. They're just going back and forth with every level of play.
My gosh, that's what Game 6 was.
That's what the second period of Game 6.
It's like, man, it's 3-1 Montreal. I mean, all right, I guess we're playing the Habs. Final score 8-3 Buffalo. Okay, that's what we're doing today.
I mean, 7 unanswered is bananas. Have you changed at all on who you want the Canes to play?
I'm still saying Buffalo. Because I think just their goaltending is just so inconsistent. It's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, it's Alex Lyon, then it's Alex Lyon, then it's Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. You know what? Fine.
And that messes with everybody. I know that, pulling the goalie and everything is a way to spark the team, but if there's no consistency back there, it's really tough for anybody to. I mean, it's tough for blue liners to be aggressive because you feel like you got to be back covering your tracks. It's tough for forwards to not get bent out of shape, thinking like we're gonna have to score 9, boys. Like it messes with everybody. So I think Buffalo is still the team. Like if you're just purely choosing because you want the Canes to have the best chance of winning and advancing, I think Buffalo is that team. Montreal has also shown quite a few cracks on the foundation. First of all, turns out their goalie's not unbeatable, right? I still think he's a better goalie, and he's been playing better than what Buffalo's been putting on the ice. But he's given up some goals. Game 5 happened as well, right, where he gave up a bunch. It's interesting. When I'm watching tonight, I'm gonna be watching as much for how tired do they look as I'm looking for who wins and who loses. Because the advantage for the Canes is that these teams are going to be, there's no saving ammunition in Game 7, right? If you don't like the way one of your lines are playing, you don't go, well, let's let them play it out. No, you're playing your top lines more, right? If there's an opportunity to shorten your rotation, you have to take it because if you don't win, you're going home, right? Oh, we saved all this energy to fish. Like you don't want to end up doing that, right? So both teams are in a smoke 'em if you got 'em situation, and for the Canes, that's all good.
And also as well, just how mentally taxing it's going to be. Game 7 today.
Game 7 today. Oof. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals is Thursday, which I know they gave them the extra day, right? Everybody was kind of hoping it was Tuesday or Wednesday. It ends up being Tuesday or Thursday, and thus Thursday. Think about it like this. If Game 7, which will go into the night tonight, right? It'll take you at least one day to come down off adrenaline of a Game 7. Another day to physically handle the thing, and you're traveling, you're trying to get here. Then you're on the eve of the Eastern Conference Finals. It's really not a lot of time for them to figure it out. But again, they're not even worried about it. They're just trying to win tonight's game. And we'll be watching. It'll be I guarantee you, if this series has any kind of foreshadowing, this one will be crazy.
Are you also praying for 7 overtimes?
I am. I mean, as much as I think I can control things, 7 overtimes would extremely benefit the Canes. 7 overtimes, and exaggerating, right? 2 overtimes extremely benefits the Canes.
Gosh, 1 overtime. Just like how mentally, how mentally draining that is.
Yeah, and a couple lead changes in the third, it'll tire you out real quick. That is number 4. Let's get to number 3. PGA Championship came to a close yesterday. Aaron Rai is the winner. This is if you move in the golf worlds, you've heard this story a bunch of times. I am going to tell you a quick story about Aaron Rai that has been passed around. So, Aaron Rai, British golfer, he's been on the PGA Tour for a while now. If you're a golf nerd, you've seen his name, you know his game. If you're not, he is definitely not a casual crossover famous guy. But one of the things he's kind of known for is he puts club head covers on his irons. Okay, and that's seen as like dorky. Okay, it's like I don't even know how I would describe it. It's I'm trying to think of an example in another sport. It's just dorky. You get teased for it. He has come out many times and said, "Listen, my family didn't have a lot of money growing up. When I was, just getting serious in golf, my dad went and my mom went and bought me very nice clubs, and they were like $1,000 or 1,000 pounds, I think he said, because he's from across the pond. And after every practice session, my dad would clean my clubs with oil and a needle, get every groove absolutely pristine. So when he played, he put club head covers on." And he goes, and now I'm a PGA Tour pro. They'll give me as many clubs as I want. I could play every week with a different set if I wanted to, right? I'm privileged in that way, but I never want to forget, valuing the equipment and cherishing the opportunity. So I'm keeping the club head covers on, and I don't care how much I get teased or made fun of or people call me dorky. That's what I'm going to do. And then people fall in love with the story. Then he wins the PGA and he gets $3.6 million, and everybody loves him even more. So credit to Aaron Rai for staying true to himself and winning his first career major. Credit to Alex Smalley, former Duke golfer, Wake Forest High School golfer, for finishing in a tie for second with Jon Rahm, which it's not winning, but $1.8 million. $1.8 million. A massive boost in the FedEx Cup up to 15th. So you're starting to look like you're in line for things like Tour Championship. You're qualifying for future tournaments. It's a career-changing result for Alex Smalley, even with it not being a win. And what I really liked about it is he had the lead after Saturday. So going into Sunday, he was the leader. And the history of relative unknowns, Alex Smalley's not an unknown, but relative unknowns that have a lead going into Sunday of a major tournament with a bunch of major winners behind him, like Jon Rahm and Justin Thomas, and you go on and on. Rory and Scheffler and all these guys that were within striking distance. It's not good. They usually collapse. And Smalley had his dips, but he fought all the way back to being tied for second by the time the day was over. And that's just gigantic for his confidence and everything else. You want to know a bit of irony from his time at Duke, Dennis? The PGA, you win a
What's that?
You win a Wanamaker trophy.
Oh, yeah, I did hear this, yeah.
For 3 years at Duke, he stayed in the Wanamaker dorms. So he and his parents have joked for a long time, like, if you're going to win a major, it's got to be the one that gets you the Wanamaker. And he almost did it. And he's guaranteed himself entry into future editions of, so maybe he will get his PGA and his Wanamaker trophy. For other local guys, just in case you were wondering, Max Gracerman, also of Duke, finished in a tie for 14th. Ben Griffin, who played for UNC, Ryder Cup guy, really good golfer, tied for 14th as well. Cam Young, who played at Wake, tied for 26th. And beyond that, Ryan Gerard made the cut. Another UNC guy finished tied for 70th. And then a couple of Wake Forest guys made the cut and fell back kind of aggressive. Alex Fitzpatrick tied for 75th. Michael Brennan, 81st. But still, they're playing on the weekend in a major. It's pretty darn impressive. It was a good tournament. I'll leave it at that. That is number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
I feel great about playing football right now.
So the Carolina Panthers received some not great news within the last few weeks, and then obviously in the public was made aware of it this weekend, Friday, after our show got off the air. Tershawn Wharton, one of their highest paid defensive players, free agent of last year's free agency class, had neck surgery and is out indefinitely, although he is expected to play this season. For the latest, we have audio from Dave Canales, who spoke to the media earlier today, head coach of the Panthers. Here's the latest on Turk Wharton and his neck injury.
I'm going to keep it pretty vague. Just those are kind of private conversations that we have. But basically, it was about a week and a half ago, just was feeling a little bit of discomfort and went in and talked to Denny. And Denny was like, well, this is something we should take a look at. And, they found some things that needed to be addressed, from a surgical standpoint. And so it was like, obviously with the timetable of the season and all those things, like this is something that needs to be done now. And he's recovering great. And we'll just take it week by week and see where he's at.
So not a lot of information there. As he said at the beginning, he was going to keep it relatively vague. Turk Wharton's a big absence. Granted, it's not something they're not used to. He missed almost half the season last year. So not always the most available player in his 2 years or year and then going into year 2 with the Panthers. I guess opens up, NFL next man up, opens up opportunities for the next guy. Which is a bit unusual at this point in the calendar year to be like, oh, I'm going to get more usage than I thought. But Lee Hunter, their second-round pick, could get some. Cam Jackson could get some. A pick from last year, mid-round pick. Could be something like Pat Jones, who's coming back off an injury. Perhaps Nick Scorton, if he wants to kick in a little bit. Turk Wharton missing some time. How important does that make the Lee Hunter pick, that second-rounder with Wharton's injury? Dave Canales was asked about that as well.
Well, it's very important now, just depending on what the timeline looks like. And I don't have specific dates right now with all that. But, to get big young bodies into the program is always a good thing, with, Monroe and then with Lee, right off the bat with the first 2 picks, quality players who we expect to be in the mix to compete, to help our team. And it was just, philosophically speaking, it's like best available. Absolutely. And then when these big physical violent players come along, it's we were really excited to be able to add those guys and now in a different way, Lee, Cam Jackson, these guys that we've brought into our program are going to really need to, step up for the guys in different roles.
And it could be a host of guys. Derek Brown's going to play a ridiculous amount of snaps when healthy because he's that good and he's proven capable of taking on a large usage. Lee Hunter will play. I believe how much he plays will be dependent on how well he does, right? Rookies are a bit of a crapshoot, even highly drafted ones. Bobby Brown is a player that they've brought in to play interior defensive line. LeBrian Ray is a name that doesn't get mentioned a ton, but he's in the mix. Cam Jackson, as I mentioned, a bit underwhelming in the early parts of his career, but maybe opportunity is what sparks him. Nick Scorton, Pat Jones, a little bit more versatile on the outside. Perhaps they can kick in and help out a little bit on certain downs. There's a lot of different opportunities there, but Turk Wharton, at the very least, that's a lot of usage that is now up for grabs.
Don't be surprised if a guy by the name of Aaron Hall, undrafted defensive tackle out of Duke, makes the squad. I think he was actually in line to even make the team anyway, even before this happened. Now it feels like this is a guaranteed lock that Aaron Hall is going to be on the roster in some way, shape, or form.
Aaron Hall's a player that has gained a lot of steam as a potential, like you said, undrafted free agent. That's kind of sometimes the life of an undrafted free agent. You not only have to be good enough, you have to be good enough and perhaps get a fluke thing kind of break your way to get opportunities. And then once you do that, the opportunities are endless. Aaron Hall, that's a fantastic point, and obviously Duke fans know all about him. ACC fans know all about him. But he's somebody that brings a certain skill set that could provide depth at a position that suddenly got a lot lighter. I mean, if you're the Panthers, that's be a little frustrating. You spent big on a free agent. You tried to bring in the Chiefs guy, right? The NBA or the NFL championship, the Super Bowl guy. Get some of that glow, get some of the athletic ability that he brings in, and they really haven't benefited much from him on the field. What I will give them credit for, though, is they have protected themselves against it a little bit. I believe the Panthers would save $14.8 million in salary cap next season if they move on from him, which is a big amount of money. And even if you miss on a guy, missing for 2 years and paying him a little extra, it's not going to cripple you too bad if you can kind of bounce on those cap hits very early. So they should have more money to go back into the free agency world next year if they want to. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one! Blake hands it off for Hall. Hall, skate to stick out in front. Stankoven scores! Logan Stankoven comes up with a monster goal, his 7th of the postseason, and the Canes take a 2-1 lead as they put some stank on it.
The Carolina Hurricanes are playing on Thursday against the winner of tonight's Game 7 on the other side of the Eastern playoffs, Montreal and Buffalo. And with the Eastern Conference Finals, at least the schedule of it all kind of locked in now, we want to send a couple of you. So, listen up real quick. If you want Canes tickets, if you want playoff tickets, listen up. We have a pair of tickets to Game 2, which is a home game for the Canes at the Lenovo Center. Games 1 and Games 2 are home. We have a pair of tickets to Game 2, which is Saturday, 7 o'clock, a little earlier than some expected. If you want to go, we can help you out, perhaps, but you got to help yourself out. So every hour, which is the 9 to 10 o'clock hour in the morning on Next Up with Paul Ihander, and then noon to 6 for the Adam Gold Show and this show, The Drive. Every one of those hours, the 9 to 10 hour and then noon to 6, we are giving out keywords. And if you hear the keyword and text it in before the start of the next hour, so the one I'm about to give you is good until 6, you gain that hour's entry. You can get every entry. It's not a one-and-done situation. You can get an entry, another entry every hour today, tomorrow, and Wednesday of our local programming, which I just illustrated. But you have to be listening, you have to catch the keywords, and you have to text them in. The keyword for this hour, which is your last opportunity of the day, is playoff. Playoff, all one word. Playoff, playoff. Text that in to 919-860-5326. Text playoff to 919-860-5326. If you do it right now, you'll be all good. You'll be locked in for this hour. You will get the entry. It is a pair of playoff tickets, and I know I keep saying this, but I want to emphasize the opportunity you have here. Playoff atmosphere in the Lenovo Center is awesome. You want to experience it in person if you can, I promise you. 2, these tickets are expensive. Just to get in the door for an Eastern Conference Finals game is going to be a nice chunk of change, and obviously if you win them, it's free. Tickets won are always better than tickets paid for. I don't know if that's true, but you want to win them. And 3, it's our way of saying thank you to all of you guys for hanging with us and paying attention to us and talking with us and interacting with us all Canes season long. Hopefully, we have a long way to go here as they keep chasing their goals. But want to give away a pair of tickets at this moment anyway. So text it in, the keyword playoff, PLAYOFF, no spaces, to 919-860-5326. As we do look towards Thursday, the break for the Carolina Hurricanes between the second round and third round, second round and Eastern Conference Finals, is the longest break in modern NHL history between series. You would have to go back to 1919 when the sport barely even resembled what we pay attention to now to find a longer break between postseason series. And I wish I would have done the research before. I was jokingly like, what made such a long series break in 1919?
I looked it up.
Well, did you?
Oh, so this is back when they had the NHL, which is like the original 6 franchises, and there was the old Pacific Coast Hockey Association. So it was Montreal playing Seattle in Seattle. So it's 1919. There's some travel involved, and there's some logistical stuff you got to work
stop
out.
To give the horses some water.
Yeah, pretty much. Like this train needs whatever.
Got to stop at every location.
There's a little time, and back then, like the different leagues had different rules in terms of all that kind of stuff. So it's just that's what you got to go back to.
All right,
Montreal playing Seattle.
I want to give a shout out to Gino, who has a bunch of followers, Gino Hard on Twitter, because he did the math on this one. By the time the Eastern Conference Finals begins on Thursday, Carolina will have played 8 games in 36 days.
That's wild.
that is like, you can't prepare for that.
Because there were stretches during the season where you're playing 15 games in like 28 days.
Oh, easily. Yeah. They're playing 8 games in 36 days. When you include the long break between rounds 1 and round 2, the long break between round 2 and the Eastern Conference playoffs, and the fact that they swept, right? So there's even game, like the off days between games, they all just add up. So, the rest versus rust discussion it's not like this is it on steroids. This is like the most heightened version of it. It's like, it's not, are you rested or are you rusty? It's what's better, being the most rested you've been in literal months, or being as rusty as you've been like during the Olympic break, if you were one of the guys that didn't go on the Olympic break. Like they've unplugged, plugged back in, checked things up, unplugged again, powered down, whatever your metaphor is. They've done it like 4 times. It's absolutely absurd. 8 games in 36 days for an NHL team that like hasn't been eliminated. Crazy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, keyword playoff. Text it, 919-860-5326. You'll gain an entry into our giveaway for Canes playoff tickets. Have to have that texted in by 6 o'clock today. That's when playoff will expire as a keyword. There. Now you can use that very same number to call in for the numbers game. We have a pair of tickets to session 6 of the soccer tournament at Wake Med Soccer Park on May 30th. If you were unaware, the soccer tournament, a.k.a. TST, they bring in some stars. Some of those teams are gigantic. The celebrityness of it is great. The soccer level for some of those teams, unbelievable. We have a pair of tickets to session 6 going to whoever can win the numbers game today. So call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game and win a pair of tickets to the soccer tournament. That's coming up next. Call in now. We need 2 contestants. Numbers game next.
1 goal.
Let's go, Canes!
Slavin, he gets it to Hall. Hall whips it across. Blake with a shot. He scores! It's over!
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Oh, this is going to be fun, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Playoff hockey.
Here we go.
Here's a chance. Sebastian Aho in. Short hit back in. Scores! Oh, talk to me, Shorty! Carolina!
The Triangle's official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
Give me a mountain with lots to do. Give me something simple and true. All I need is sunshine and that cool, refreshing Mountain Dew. So give me my good friends, give me a dew.
Grab some ice-cold Mountain Dew today.
Mountain Dew.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Mountain Dew products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
I feel like I am special, that I'm receiving an award for being an athlete.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Because you guys do everything for the exterior of your home, these things can add up. And there are a lot of people who think, I can't afford this. How can the Aluminum Company make it easier?
Yeah, well, Adam, we have plans that are 12 months, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 12 months, which make it super affordable for people to do anything on their home, whether it's windows, siding, doors, roofing, gutters, any kind of exterior home improvement. The Aluminum Company has financing plans that can fit in your budget and make it easy.
So wait a second. I can get everything done, no interest, and no payments for 12 months?
Yeah, and you get a lifetime warranty once the project's done.
I get a lifetime warranty once the project is done?
Yes, sir.
What about my down payment?
No down payment, no
What?
deposit.
No down payment, no deposit.
No payment until the project's done.
No payment till the project's done.
Exactly.
Where do I sign up? Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Prize for today, as I said before the break, a pair of tickets to Session 6 of the Soccer Tournament at WakeMed Soccer Park on May 30th, a.k.a. TST. The contestants for today are Dan in Fuquay and Micah in Morrisville. They'll battle it out in jersey number trivia to see who gets the tickets. But first, we'll bring them each onto the show, ask them the exact same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Dan in Fuquay. Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Dan, you got me?
I hear you.
All right, perfect. There you go. Dan, the question for today, as it often is on Mondays, we just finished up a weekend. What was the highlight of your weekend? But because we're a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related.
I got to watch some 13U travel baseball this weekend. It's my son's first tournament of the spring.
All right, watching some 13U travel baseball. Dennis, any follow-ups?
No questions.
All right, we roll to Micah in Morrisville. Micah, can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, Micah, you know how this works. The question to see who goes first is, what was the highlight of your weekend? But keep it sports related.
I would say one day closer to the Canes starting and then one day closer to the World Cup starting.
One day closer to Canes and World Cup. All right, Dennis, any follow-ups?
No questions.
All right, then are you rolling with Dan, who got to watch some 13U travel baseball, or Micah, who spent his weekend counting down the time until the Canes play and the World Cup gets started?
We all watched the ticking clock this weekend. So I'll probably have to go with Dan in Fuquay on this one with the, watching his son's, youth travel baseball. Just watch. I mean, I'm not a dad, but I can only imagine watching your kids play sports. It's got to be pretty awesome. So I'll go with Dan in this one.
Absolutely. Until they're not playing one, there's nothing you can do. And then you're hopeless, but you feel for them. But it's a lesson learned, and you do that whole thing. So Dan gets to go first. Micah, don't worry. You'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold. Dan, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, I am.
All right. We have NFL, Carolina Panthers only. MLB, batting champion since 2001. NBA players that played in the 2026 playoffs, or NHL Hurricanes only?
Hurricanes only.
All right. You have Hurricanes only. I will give you, the way this is going to work, I'll give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There'll be 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. If you have no questions, your time will start when you hear the horn. Seth Jarvis, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
Correct. Scott Morrow, Carolina Hurricanes.
53.
Incorrect. Klaus Dahlbach, Carolina Hurricanes. Say it again.
Pass.
John Graham, Carolina Hurricanes. Say it again.
26.
Incorrect. Scott Morrow, Carolina Hurricanes. You may have been breaking up there a little bit. I'm not sure I heard everything, but you did get Seth Jarvis with 24. So you avoided the shutout. That's one. Morrow, we were looking for 56. Dahlbeck, we were looking for 6. And Graham, we were looking for 47. Hopefully, or I should say, not. You do still have a chance because 1. So stay in the line. We'll see if it holds up. Since you avoided the shutout, I almost gave the speech about if you go first, you win the tie, but you got one. So don't gotta be that sad about it. Let's roll to Micah. Micah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Panthers only, MLB.
I'll do that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
luck to myself.
It is good defense when somebody knows Micah's waiting on deck to choose the Canes and just take it off the board. All right, so you'll go with the Panthers category. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it, and you do need at least 2 for the win. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Vinny Testaverde, Carolina Panthers.
80.
Incorrect. Jatavian Sanders, Carolina Panthers.
6.
Incorrect. Vinny Testaverde, Carolina Panthers.
9.
Incorrect. Jatavian Sanders, Carolina Panthers.
0.
Correct. Matt Khalil, Carolina Panthers.
63.
Incorrect. Vinny Testaverde, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Sam Franklin, Carolina Panthers.
24.
Incorrect. Matt Cleo, Carolina Panthers.
75.
Correct. Mike Tolbert, Carolina Panthers.
33.
Incorrect. Vinny Testaverde, Carolina Panthers. Do you have somebody yelling answers? You got 2. You got the win. Congratulations. Let's start there. It seemed like you would have epiphanies and then all of a sudden be very, very confident in certain numbers. How was that happening?
No, it's because I knew Matt Khalil. I mean, wasn't he like the center for the longest time?
Yeah.
And then I just wanted to get back to that one. So when I said pass, I thought you were going to say it and you didn't. And then I was scrambling.
All right. Well, either way, you pulled out the win somehow, some way. You got 2 out of 5. So congratulations. You have soccer tournament tickets coming your way.
Appreciate it.
Oh, by the way, Micah, Dennis told me the other day that you had a little bundle of joy arrive. So congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. I appreciate the shout out you guys gave me.
Of course. Big news. So thank you for listening.
Yep.
Thank you for always jumping in and calling in and joining the mix. But congratulations on that one. And less so, but congratulations on getting some soccer tickets. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your prize.
Thank you.
Look at that.
I was asking him if Sean Walker, the Canes defenseman, had to fly back. Are you guid at the same hospital?
Yeah.
Don't think so.
Oh, it was like right around the right time. Yeah.
Pretty much same day.
That's cool. And like I'm sure if some of you listening, Micah, he calls in. He's pretty good at the numbers game. He obeys all the rules, waits the proper time between wins and everything. But he's pretty good, especially when he can get that Canes category. So it was a good defensive move from Dan to take Canes off the list for him. But he couldn't quite hold off Micah. Good job by both involved. Hopefully we get some higher scores later in the week. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I'm going to continue hammering this home for all of you. You have 22 more minutes to text in playoff to 919-860-5326. The keyword is playoff. That's one word, no spaces, P-L-Y-O-F-F. P-L-A-Y-O-F-F. I think I said that right. P-L-A-Y-O-F-F, playoff. If you text that in to 919-860-5326 by 6 o'clock, it expires at 6, you'll be gaining this hour's entry into our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. That's all you have to do. Text in the word playoff to 919-860-5326, and you'll have this hour's entry. We will have new numbers tomorrow, new keywords tomorrow. But for right now, the only way you can increase your chances of getting the Canes playoff tickets is by texting playoff to 919-860-5326. There you go. So here's the deal, everybody. There's some Carolina Panthers news that came out over the last few days. Turk Wharton, as we've talked about, one of their highest paid defensive players, is, well, he's out for a while. Okay, he had neck surgery, and while they expect him to play this year, I don't know if that is possible, right? Neck injuries, you don't want to mess with. It's not like you're going to get to a point where you go like, I don't know, it's just a pain threshold thing. Like neck injuries are very much you just trust the doctors and you have to. So Turk Wharton's availability, they don't have timelines. I'm not going to speculate. What I will say is, should we give the Wally Pipp speech? They've got some young guys that are going to get opportunities, and if they play really, really well, there's no reason that their roles can't continue to grow. They have an out in Turk Wharton's contract after this year that they can get out and save a bunch of cap space. At this point, based on the way his last year and now this year kind of are going, I would be very surprised if they keep him at the number that they would have to keep him on the team option in year 3. So, you're looking towards the future of the interior of the defensive line. If Lee Hunter wants to step up and be your number one dude next to Derek Brown, go for it, right? He's a second-round pick. He was tremendously impressive at Texas Tech. Go for it. And then also some reporting, Joe Person, that the Panthers will not be signing Bryce Young to a contract extension this offseason. It's good reporting. It needs to be said because people are asking. I don't I don't think that's barely news. That's, hey, guess what? We're anticipating that the sun will come up tomorrow. It's wildly expected, but now we know.
Also, it's hot outside. All right, there it is.
It is hot outside. Somebody did some yard work over the weekend. It's getting hotter. What's up with that?
My tomato and pepper plants are loving it, though. I can tell you that much.
They need some rain, I bet.
Yeah, they do. So I have one of those big rainwater. My fiance and I have one of those big rainwater catch barrels, so that's now about half full. That's what I've been using to water the plants.
Maybe it'll fill back up later this week.
Hopefully.
That's what everybody keeps telling me, but I am not a weatherman. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan. Dennis just told me one more time for the keyword, and I can't resist giving you more opportunities. Playoff, Playoff is the keyword. All one word. Text it to 919-860-5326. Text it right now, and you will be entered for this hour's entry into our Canes playoff ticket giveaway. It's common sense to me. You can get Canes playoff tickets, Game 2 Eastern Conference Finals tickets, and all you had to do was send some texts. That's it. Text playoff, Playoff, all one word, to 919-860-5326. Someone's getting a pair of playoff tickets. Why not you? Text it in now. That keyword, playoff, expires at 6, so you only have a little less than 20 minutes left to get it into our text inbox. Do it now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Bill Belichick went on a sprawling podcast interview that was released earlier today. Did he have something to say? Something you might find interesting? Stick around to find out.
Move your sports day forward.
Doubling the college football playoff from 12 to 24 teams is change for the better. ACC, Big 12, Big 10, all on board. More access to the title game, and more moments for players to celebrate. A quick history lesson. You probably forgot the Natty was once determined by reporter polling with no game played, and that was less than 30 years ago.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Is your heating and air system ready for the warmer weather? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your Carrier factory authorized dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company. Your comfort is our business.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you've ever reached for a cheers when your favorite song comes on, you're ready to embrace the haze with Hazy Little Thing from Sierra Nevada. Hazy, citrusy, smooth, juicy but not sweet, hoppy but not bitter, America's best-selling hazy IPA for good reason. Hazy Little Thing, enjoy responsibly. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Game 7 tonight. Montreal, Buffalo. Winner gets the Canes. Thursday, Lenovo Center, 8 o'clock. Game 1 Eastern Conference Finals. Loser, well, they get to lick their wounds and go home for the offseason. That's what's on the stakes tonight for Montreal and Buffalo. Canes will be watching intently because they want to know who they're playing. They've been waiting a long time to figure out who they're playing.
At least we know when.
Thursday at 8, Lenovo Center. Correct me if I'm wrong. My memory fades me when it's, that long ago. Did they finish their series before Game 3 of Montreal? And I think the Canes swept Philly, and then the next night was Game 3 between Montreal and Buffalo.
I think so.
And they're now Game 7. That's absurd. That is ridiculous. So either way, go ahead.
Let's go back and find out.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Don't depend on my memory. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So they were done before Game 3.
Saturday, May 9th was Game 4. Sunday, May 10th was Game 3 between Montreal and Buffalo.
Now, listen, I understand, and I give the NHL a little bit of leeway because, there's some like, how in the world did the NHL let this happen, this break? Because the Canes break is the longest break in modern NHL history. And part of my response is usually like, well, sweep had never happened in a 7-game series, right? So they weren't exactly planning on this happening because there's no precedent for it. The one thing I do give them a little bit of a like, you should have done better there. You can't start series before the other series are even known. That's where it becomes really like you opened yourself up to this ridiculous break. They wanted to have the Canes and Flyers on that Saturday for Game 1 because there was no other NHL game. So they put them on before the other series was even set, and it just sets you up all the way to where we are now. That's the one thing I think the NHL probably deserves a little wrist slap for. But the Canes going sweep. Again, like I said, it had never happened before. And all it would take is one game in either series to be above the minimum, and that break is no longer the longest in modern NHL history. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Bill Belichick went on Pardon My Take, which Pardon My Take's a podcast. It's a Barstool podcast. There's a lot of things that have happened over the last 2 years that I think, like, if you would have went back and told Bill Belichick in 2012 that he'd be doing fill in the blank, that he'd be taking pictures as a fisherman catching his girlfriend as a mermaid, posting them on Instagram, he'd be like, no, 0% chance. That he's coaching in college, no, 0% chance. That he's going on Pardon My Take would be up there, right? I'm pretty sure in Patriots land he wasn't about that, but things changed and he went on the pod. They talked for a long time. I would say a lot of it was either kind of fluff personality stuff or coach speak, but there were a few things that stood out, and we have some audio for you. Bill Belichick on Pardon My Take on what he likes about coaching college kids, and obviously this is a comparison to his long career in the NFL.
Well, I try to do whatever I can to help improve the players and the team, so whatever that consists of, if it's giving them coaching points on the field, off the field, watching film, talking about fundamentals, however I can help them, reach their goals, play better, and help our team reach its goals. That's what I do. It's fun. It's a lot more opportunity to coach really at this level than in the NFL, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoy coaching all the groups in practice. I can go yell at anybody. It's fair game. So you're the head coach, you can take out on anybody you want.
Yeah, and
it's actually a lot of fun.
It's a weird thing to hear him say. Yelling and all that is fun. It's hard to know really how to react to that without knowing the relationship to his players. Some of the coaches in my career, and I played up through college, obviously not the pros, but some of my favorite coaches yelled at us the most. But our relationship was such that we knew they cared about us more than most of the other coaches we had. We knew that we could trust them more, so their yelling was taken the right way. Other coaches, they yell and you you'd harness it because you're coachable, but you'd have attitude in your head, right? You'd be every kind of thing said back to them in the back of your brain. So it's hard to know without knowing the relationship that Bill Belichick has with his guys, right? If yelling at them is fun because there's ultimate trust and they're listening and they're learning, that's great. If yelling at them and they're cussing him out in the back of their brain because they don't trust him, don't interact with him, don't know that he cares about him, it's a different beast. Which brings me to the relationship of last year's team versus this year's team. That also came up in the interview. So here's Bill Belichick on how the chemistry of last year is different than the chemistry of this year.
We have a good group of kids. They work hard. They are, they're pretty smart. I mean, they, go to class. They do well academically. They try to do what we ask them to do. And the group last year, I mean, I wouldn't say they were like disrespectful. That's not the right word, but it was just different. It was like they were recruited by somebody else. Mm-hmm. They came here for somebody else. I was new. They were leaving. It wasn't a bad relationship, but it wasn't a great one. It didn't have as much, I would say, there wasn't the same kind of adhesion that there is to guys that you bring in that come there because of you or because they want to be with you, and then, you grow together.
It wasn't a bad, but it wasn't a great. That's about as aggressive as you're going to hear a head coach talk about a relationship with players. And maybe Bill Belichick is at the point in his life, let alone career, where, we've all had like grandparents that get there, right? Where they're just like, I'm going to say what I think, right? And I'm too old to change it now. Maybe he's there, but admitting that there wasn't a great relationship with your team and coaches in college is very unusual. Even if you're like, well, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like that's probably means it was awful if we're being real. Because I've seen some bad situations just observing where the coach is like, no, we love each other. We're great. So to say it's not a great one, that was surprising. And by the way, maybe he actually said like, you guys aren't idiots. We were all watching last year. You read the articles written by Pat Welter. Everybody knows what happened here. So it's different this year. I think it's a bit of a cop-out to say, that they didn't commit to me. They didn't come here to play for me when they had like 75 new players last year. There were a handful that didn't show up to play for you, but a good amount of them you picked as well out of the portal or out of high school.
I say, yeah, you picked a lot of those guys out of the portal, and then even some of the guys that were freshmen that were incoming, you met with them and like recruited them to come on. Yeah. Anyway, not sure I fully buy that one.
I agree with you. I'm leaning your side, but there's also like, some players probably thought, well, I was committed here and I didn't have options. Like I didn't want to go back onto the open market, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, let's get one more clip in here. Bill Belichick, how players rapidly, improve at the college level versus, again, his experience with the pros.
They improve a lot. They improve very fast and really in a very short amount of time, sometimes, 3 to 6 to 9 months. It's almost like watching a different player. So that's very gratifying to see that type of improvement. They don't improve that fast in the NFL. They improve, but not at that rate.
Yeah.
And so it's, if the kid is open-minded, willing, will listen, and then we'll really work at the skills that he needs to work on. Again, they can improve very quickly, both physically and from a fundamental technique standpoint.
I agree with him on that. My favorite days, game days, right? All the obvious stuff. But maybe like my, 28th favorite day on the calendar year when it comes to my football career were the first couple of days of spring practice. Because like the red shirts or whatever, like especially if you were not on scout team, you didn't really see the guys developing during the fall. And then spring is the first time they got to show off how much better they got in the last 6 months. And seeing some of them bodies develop, right, working out, and then also just it's like, oh my goodness, you're going to help us on game days next year. And the previous spring it was like, you're going to be on scout team this year. And it's not good or bad. It's not like saying they're like, worse people when they're going on scout team. It's just you can develop really quickly in those 18 to 23 aged years. late developers. Sometimes it's people that went to maybe very, very small high schools, and it took them a while to get used to being around others that are equally as physically gifted, even if they were not a late bloomer. They were so used to being, LeBron James out there that they had to figure out how to do the skills, and once that clicks, it's great. I imagine that is very fulfilling for a college football coach, especially if you've been dealing with pros who show up, everybody's physically ready, right? They're all the monstars of modern times in the NFL. Then you go to college, and you're like, oh, that guy, he's going to be good 18 months from now, and you actually get to watch that seed become a plant. That's going to be really fun. I still remember one of my teammates who ended up playing in the NFL, offensive lineman. He showed up, he was 260, and our offensive line coach tapped me on the shoulder and went, he's 260. I was like, all right, not going to make me excited to play behind him if he's 260. He goes, but his legs are like he's 340. We'll put some weight on the upper body. Trust me. You're going to want that kid. Went play in the NFL. Worked out. It's probably fun for him to watch. It's fun for me to play behind. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Overdrive next. We talk about the Canes. Until tomorrow, have a great night, everybody.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. So good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Stop by Handy Hugo's for great deals on your favorite Pepsi products. Head to Handy Hugo's today.
Evan, Kenty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Aaron Rodgers is unemployed. If you're unemployed, you report to no one. This is on them. I love the Steelers as an organization. I've gotten to know the Rooney family over the years. You can't find better people than the Rooney family. But it's on them. You're allowing him for the second straight year to hold your franchise hostage.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get.